Hello, everybody. How are you? I just wanted to come on. I know I came on last week and I started the video. I've let y'all hang for a while. So I'm gonna go through and go ahead on and finish the video or do as much as I can for tonight. So if you want to come up and join me, the link is down there. Ask for the link. If you have any ideas or know anything about it, let me know because I'm trying to get caught up on this because I know I started it last week and it's been a couple days and it took a whole new life on its own. So let's check it out. Okay, so this is how I left off last time. Okay, so this is where I left off last time. So you can go ahead on and finish this right quick. Let's see.
Recorded in the audio diary because I was like, I don't know what it is, but there's something. That was the theme of our relationship. I don't know what it is, but I know there's something. And so I remember talking to myself in my little prayer closet because that's where I would do my recordings. And I remember thinking, what if we don't get this house? Like, what if he's lying? But again, there goes that thought process of, why would he lie about this? Like, who makes up that they're buying a house when in fact they're not? And then he's showing you all this paperwork. Like, come on, you can't be that jaded that you don't even believe what's in front of you. All right? So now we're going to go into part 5. Okay, part 5. Who the fuck did I marry? So I'm questioning all this stuff in my head out loud on my audio diaries. And then once again, I'm like, but look at what he's giving you. Like, he's paying, it wasn't a question about money. It was just a question of, are we really about to move into this house? And keep in mind, he's paying all the household bills. He still is. So we're supposed to close before Memorial Day.
Okay, how is he paying all the bills? So far, let's see. Because see, I've seen the little bits and pieces from other places. So I'm still confused on how he paying all the bills. Let's go.
We didn't. There was an excuse. There was always an excuse with him. Always an excuse. And I didn't know enough about the process to question stuff because I really wasn't involved the way I should have been. And it was giving me a lot of anxiety. So I'm pregnant with a lot of anxiety. And if I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all, I was not expecting that I was probably going to have a healthy pregnancy because I was stressed. And what I was stressed about is I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't really involved the way that a normal relationship would be involved. Just being honest. So we did not close we move now into June. This is now going into June. Around June 5th, I looked at the house again on realtor.com. I don't know what made me do it other than, and I don't mean to sound super spiritual. I know that people are like, you may or may not believe in God. But I'm telling you, I believe with all my heart, probably the Holy Spirit was like, look at that house on realtor.com. So I looked at the house on realtor.com. This was around June 5th. It showed that the house was off the market. And I remember being like, okay, wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because ex-husband is telling me we're about to close on the house. We're about to close. It's our house. We got furniture.
Shoot. Wait, so shoot, poor baby. She probably geeked in a motherfucker.
He's also telling me that he's been in contact with the realtor, his friend, who was telling him, this is what was happening next. Here's what's going on. So the guy that we initially worked with apparently is completely out of the picture. But again, I was not heavily involved. So
I don't know no woman looking for an apartment or anything that will not be involved. You got to check the house. You got to make sure everything is okay. It's so many little things that we just like and need, and just little bitty things. How the fuck she wasn't involved? This bitch was just going to take anything from anybody. Just anybody, just here. And she just was going to take the shit. How you don't look? First of all, it's like measurements and shit you got to take. You got to have your idea on what you want. You know what I'm saying? I want my garden, so I know which way I need my yard to face. So if my house don't have the yard facing that way, that's not what the fuck I'm gonna go for. So I don't understand how she claims she wasn't involved somewhere that she was supposed to be building a life and living forever. What the fuck was she doing? Like, for real, what was she doing?
I'm just like, let me look at the house. I see it's off market. What the fuck does off market mean? Like, now I'm really freaking out. So it shows the name of the real estate agent for the seller. I don't remember her name. I called her and I said, I said, my husband and I, even though I wasn't married, my husband and I were looking at this house at 123.
See, she a fucking liar too, talking about her husband and I. You stop claiming niggas that ain't yours, bitch. That was the fucking problem. You claim the house and the nigga that you have know nothing about.
Main Street. And we really wanted to tour it, but now I'm showing it's off market. Is it not available? Or, I pulled that card and she was like, oh, no, ma'am. The home closed yesterday. It closed June 4th. Again, there are certain dates I just remember. And I said, oh, it closed June 4th? I was like, really? And she said, yes, ma'am. She was like, my sellers sold the house. And I was like, oh, man, okay. Well, I said, my husband and I really wanted, we love the pictures of it. And we're getting ready to start a family. So I would have loved to have been able to, have the opportunity to see it. I asked her something. I don't remember the specific question I asked her. And I know why I asked the question, because I was anticipating that my boyfriend at the time was going to have some sort of excuse. So I asked her something about the buyers. And I remember, and somehow, again, forgive me, I don't remember the question I asked her. But the answer was that it was an older white couple. So I get off the phone with her. I record an audio diary. And in the audio diary, I specifically say, okay, there is no house. He's going to have to get out of this lie somehow. Because now I realize, at the very least, he was lying about him being the one who was under contract. I knew enough about that. So I was like, what, how was he going to get out of this? Again, I've listened to the audio diary in 2024. I literally said in that audio diary, how is he going to get out of this lie? And I was trying to think of ways on how he's going to do it. And something said to me, because I say it on the audio diary, I said, He's going to say it's a bad deal, and he's going to say he wants to pull out. Y'all keep in mind, I am pregnant. So I had a decision to make. As ugly as this decision was, I made the decision, you're about to have a baby with this man. He's paying all the household bills. Let him get out of the lie. And that's what I did. I purposely made the decision that I knew he was going to come back, and I knew he was going to give me some bullshit on why he couldn't buy the house, because he didn't know that I knew that house is already sold. The house is already sold. And this is the part where I said, I'm gonna be honest, even though.
Wow, why is she letting him out of that? And it ain't even been that long. It's been a couple days. She still don't know his ass yet. Like, wow. I can understand if it's been a while. Sometimes you go, I don't know. But this is how you end up deep into some shit that you weren't even on. Because he knew exactly what the fuck she wanted. And he gave her that.
You know what's gonna make me look bad? Because most women in their right mind would have been like, I'm out. And I didn't. So, sure enough, he came home. He didn't really say anything that day. The next day I asked him about the house. And he said, my friend, the realtor, he was like, I'm talking to him because something's going on with the interest rate. And when he said that, I felt so much relief, because I knew that I had been prepared for, he's going to give you some bullshit. So when he said there's something with the interest rate, I said, you know what? This is literally what I said, y'all. If the interest rate isn't good, then we shouldn't move there. We should probably let this house go. We should cancel whatever furniture we ordered, or, appliances, and let's just look for another house. I said, I would like to be moved before the end of the year. I said, I really don't want to be 9 months pregnant moving into a house. I would like to be done with this before then.
Okay, that's understandable. That is completely understandable. Yeah, that's completely understandable.
And the way I said it was so calm. And he was like, okay. He was like, I'm going to call the friend, the realtor, and tell him I'm backing out of the house. And I'm going to see if I can get my earnest money back. And I remember looking at him. I was standing in the kitchen, and I cocked my head to the side. And I said, okay, get your earnest money back. And let's find another house.
Yeah, just 1 second. Got the one and only Michelle coming up to say hi to y'all, to us.
Hey, everybody.
You want your camera on or off? You don't have to keep it on. Okay, hit it off.
Okay.
Okay. And we go so far. I know you way further than this than me, but I'm real confused on what baby girl is doing, or what she thought she was doing, or what the plan was at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she said this is a cautionary tale.
Oh, yep. Okay.
She clearly admitted that she saw the red flags, but she just kept pushing. She kept pushing.
And that's what I'm looking at. I'm hearing some of the shit she's saying, and she like, well, yeah, I knew everything was gonna be wrong, but he was paying all the bills, right? But it's like, if he paying all the bills, bitch, something ain't right. The math seems off. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Especially from the little couple seconds I just saw of later on in the story. I don't even know how she got to that point from here. Shit. That's what I'm trying to figure. That's what made me want to watch it. That's what made me want to watch it. I want to know how the fuck she got from here all the way to where she was in the other
Yeah,
video.
it happened real fast though. It happened. It progressed really quickly.
Damn.
Within the first 2 months, she was already pregnant. So she was like, I just got to see it through at this point.
Right. That's what she at right now. She was saying that she just found out that the house belonged to some old white people, and she gonna go ahead on and let him get out this lie. Why, bitch? What the fuck? What are we doing here? I mean, being pregnant don't mean. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Her being pregnant is her being pregnant, but I don't know. But she like, but he paying all the bills, so I can understand that part. But you don't make future plans if you already see some shit ain't right? Am I confused?
Facts. She just didn't know how wrong, but she was like, "Yeah, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Let's just see what's happening."
This is crazy. Come on, let's go.
All right. And so that's how that first house fell through. Fast forward, I keep looking at this to see how much time I have, because they only give you 10 minutes. So this is part 5. Part 6 is coming up. But subsequently, what ends up happening the next week, which is mid-June, I was at work. And I started cramping, started bleeding. And at this point, my doctor, I had just had an ultrasound earlier that day. So I went to work because ultrasound was fine. I went to work and the cramping and the bleeding started, and I started crying because I kind of knew what was going on. And my doctor had called me and told me that when they did the ultrasound, they did not see a heartbeat. So she was like, this pregnancy is not going to be viable. So I'm crying, hysterical. And now we're going to get into part 6. Okay, so this is part 6 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So where we left off. So obviously, my doctor had called and told me there was no heartbeat. The pregnancy was not viable at that point, and I was cramping and spotting at work. Went into my best friend's office and immediately started crying. She was like, "What's going on?" And I said, I told her what the doctor said, and she grabbed her keys, grabbed her purse, and was like, "Let's go. I'm taking you home."
Where you go?
I called my boyfriend and told him what the doctor said. He was like, "I'll meet you at home." So he was coming from Duluth, went straight home.
Okay, there you go.
And so about 24 or 48 hours later, I had a doctor's appointment, and my doctor gave me 3 options. First option, let everything happen naturally. Your body will expel the fetus on its own. Second option, you can take a pill which will induce expelling the fetus at home. The pill basically will cause you to contract and expel. The third option was to go into the hospital and do a D&C. I did not want to do a D&C because I did not want to be in a hospital with COVID going on. And for whatever reason, I did not do the option of let it happen naturally. So I chose to do the pill.
Yeah.
His birthday was June 17th, my ex's birthday was June 17th.
Why he got to be a Gemini with me? Go your ass home, nigga.
Celebrate his birthday that day, go out to eat.
Nigga, Scorpio or something. I don't know.
Take the pill because we both were off from work the next 2 days, next 2 or 3 days. So went out to eat to try to celebrate as best we could, and then took the pill that night. That night was the most traumatic, excruciating pain I've ever put my body through. I do not recommend any woman, if prayerfully you don't have to go through that, but I don't recommend taking that pill.
But let me
You don't
question.
have to, don't do it.
Okay, she said she took some pills, right, to make that
Right.
whoop whoop, right? My
Right.
thing is this. I personally take Tylenol when my stomach hurt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I take
Yeah.
Tylenol good 3 days a week, 3 days a month for that, right?
Right.
Most women take a Tylenol or Motrin at least 2 days out the month, right?
You're right.
No math told her she might need something to bang that out real quick. This either some Tylenol, arthritis, little 600 ibuprofen, nothing. Nobody told her she was gonna need something.
Yeah, some shit went wrong for it. It
Oh,
went
it do.
wrong.
Oh, okay, let me keep going. Cause I'm gonna say she like I'm in pain. Like, duh, bitch, what's happening to you? You know what I'm saying? We know
That's a
what's happening
given.
to you. You know what I'm
That's a
saying? You should have been on your Tylenol game. What the fuck you doing? Stock
yeah.
up. Everybody stock up on Tylenol.
They should if they don't.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I know I have I get
I
my
spent the whole night in the bathroom.
I get my arthritis Tylenol, the big bottle from Walmart's, baby, bye. Like, you know, Tylenol for everybody. You know, the arthritis pain ones. Just see it, Tylenol for everybody in this bitch. What we doing?
Just crying in so much pain. I couldn't take. They gave me a narcotic. I couldn't take it because I found out I was allergic
Oh, okay.
to it. So it was
They gave us
causing
some
me
pain
like
medicine.
projectile
Yeah.
vomiting, and it was a mess. So, and he was right there. You know, he was scared that he needed to take me to the ER. But in the morning, the pain kind of subsided. So about
This nigga probably was scared you
72
gonna add
hours
business
later,
insurance
I had another
cards.
doctor's
Some jobs he don't
appointment
get.
where the purpose of this appointment was to do an ultrasound to see if everything had passed. Everything did not pass. So because of that, my doctor was like, we're going to have to do a DNC. My DNC was scheduled for the first week of July. My boyfriend, my ex, was going to take me. That was always the plan. 2 days before my procedure, he tells
How long did they let the land out like that?
me that he is up for a promotion. He's up to be promoted to VP. Because of this, the president of the company, excuse me, is coming in, and it was going to be this huge business meeting he had to go to. The business meeting was scheduled for the day of my surgery. And so I'm throwing a fit because I was like, you there's no way you can do that meeting. Like, I need you to take me to the hospital and all this other stuff. And so he offered to have his sister take me to the hospital. Apparently his sister lived in Douglasville. I was like, no, because I've never met her. Like, I'm not having a stranger take me to the hospital. No, this is a private situation. I don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So my aunt had offered to take me. And then my friend who took me home from work had offered to take me. So at that point, we get into an argument because he's like, my sister is, you about your family. So why can't she step in? And I was like, nah, because I don't know her, period. I don't know her. So my friend offers to take me to the hospital because I was.
Do you mind? Let me ask you a question.
Distressed.
Mhm.
Do you mind if I speed this up a little bit?
No, you can go ahead and speed it up, but I just wanted to put in a spoiler if possible.
Okay.
Just for one thing. Now, he said that his sister could take her, right?
Yeah.
Why he don't got no sister?
That's what I was that's what I was just looking at. So he don't have no sister and he a twin. Like, what the fuck?
Right? And he added some other siblings. Like, his other siblings was like, I don't know who.
That's literally what I was just looking at. And I was like, I know I stopped at 44 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to see how the fuck she got from there all the way to meeting family members and shit. Because this is what I remember. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
lying about the apartment. How did y'all get further than that?
Right? Why was that
You know
not
what I'm
the
saying?
end?
At this point, you're right. And now she's going through this. So it's like, I forgot she was pregnant. I should have went back and watched the 44 minutes first because I forgot the beginning of the story. But shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see. I sped it up to 125. Let's see if that's good.
Okay.
That he's saying he has a business meeting and he can't take me. So I remember being on I-75 on the connector on the phone with her crying because I was so embarrassed that he wasn't going to be the one to take me and that I was needing to rely on someone else to take me to the hospital in order to get a D&C done. And she was really great. She was like, girl, this is why you have a village. Like, it's okay. Things happen. The world is crazy right now. I will take you. You're going to be okay. So he did not take me to the hospital for my D&C. My friend did. She could not stay because of COVID protocol. So when they wheeled me into pre-op after I got checked in, I texted him and was just letting him know, hey, here's the update. I'm about to, I'm in pre-op. They're going to get me prepared to go back to the surgical ward or whatever. And the response I got was from his new executive assistant named David. Now, when he told me he was up for the promotion, he did tell me that part of getting this new job would be that he would get an executive assistant named David. And he did tell me, I'm going to make sure that I inform David if you get a text from this number, meaning from me, pull me out of the meeting because, my fiance's having a procedure done and I'm picking her up. So it's important that you come get me if it's something serious. So I text him. David responds. He said, yeah, Mr. Blah, blah told me that you are having a procedure done. If you need me to get him, I can go get him. He's in a meeting. Just let me know what you need. And I just said, no, don't bother him. I'm just giving an update that they're about to take me back. And David responds and says, I'm so sorry you're going through this. Please let me know if there's anything I can do. So I have the procedure. I wake up and I'm now in recovery. I should be in recovery 45 minutes up to an hour and a half. I wake up, first thing I ask, and I remember asking, is where is so-and-so? The nurse who was so sweet, she was like, everything went well. You're doing great. She said, we spoke to your fiance. He's on his way. So I said, okay, okay. I kind of dozed back out, but I could still hear everything that was going on. I just could not keep my eyes open to save my life. So I hear her talk to the other nurse. And that's when she said, yeah, Dr. So-and-so called her fiance and his executive assistant picked up. And the executive assistant said that he was in a business meeting and that, you could relate to him what you need to say. And he'll, he'll tell the fiance. And my doctor was like, hell no, HIPAA, I need to speak to him.
Yeah.
So apparently my fiance called the doctor back about 30 minutes later. And the doctor informed him she'll be ready to be discharged in about an hour. You can make your way and come pick her up. He said he was on his way. He was on his way from Duluth to Atlanta, which is not a huge distance, but the time of day, one thing about Atlanta, there's always traffic. So he should have been there within the hour. I should have only been in recovery an hour and a half. Let's go to the next part. Part 7, who the fuck did I marry? So I should have been in recovery at Northside Hospital for about at most an hour and a half. Subsequently, I ended up being in recovery between 3 to 3.5 hours. The nurses kept calling my ex, asking, what's the status? Because they were actually getting ready to do a shift change. So they kept calling, asking, what's the status? What's the status? Like, where are you? I want to say that they called a total of 3 times and they spoke to him twice. So at this point, I knew that they were all like, where's her fiance? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
He said he was stuck in traffic. And so he was making his way there. He eventually did get to Northside Hospital, and they wheeled me down because, again, he couldn't come in just because of the protocols. So when I got in the car, and I'm in pain, but yet drugged up, couldn't keep my eyes open, I was just out of it. But I remember him calling my aunt and my mother and letting them know I picked her up. We're on the way home. Let me get her settled, and then I'll give you guys an update. I remember that. What I did not know was that he had texted my aunt and my mom and asked them to not bother me for like a week. Like, just please don't reach out to her. Let her.
Such a piece of shit. He gonna make her think she
Yep.
alone. Oh, he's
Yep.
a piece of shit. A full-blown piece of shit. Not even a little bit.
Yep.
Oh my God. He ain't even dog shit. He just a piece of shit. Just like, what is that? Like, you know what's over there because you surprised.
Oh
you
my.
games, nigga. Girl. Okay. Let's go. That just fucks me up a little bit. Let's go.
Her just rest. I am from New Jersey. I am from an African American family. You don't tell my Black mama or my Black aunt that, please don't bother her for a week. I didn't know this at the time, but I'm just interjecting that part. I'm trying to stay in the timeline, but he did apparently do that, and my aunt was like, "Why will fuck you up?" Anyway, so go home. He waits on me hand and foot. I recover. Just needed about 24 to 48 hours to just get my mind right. During this time, in between when the house in Douglasville fell through, we had not talked about a house. So I guess it was about a week later after the DNC, he decides that, do you want to start looking for a house? Excuse me, I have hiccups, y'all. Do you want to start looking for a house again? Because of what happened with the house in Douglasville, I felt like I was smarter this time to say, I want to be involved in every aspect, because I don't know what the fuck happened with that house in Douglasville. But what I do know is that he lied to me.
Right.
I didn't know then what I know now. I just knew he lied about I knew he lied about being under contract. So
wait.
I told him,
so
I said,
far,
I'm going to work with your friend who
he
I've
done
never
lied to
never
her.
talked to. I know that he has
Right.
talked to him because he's talked to
Mm-hmm.
So far, he lied to her about the house and shit. Left her stranded about this baby shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still trying to figure out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She's
So look, full transparency, in another video, not this series, she said she was just ready. She was like, her biological clock was ticking. She was like, the fact that he came in just paying the bills and she didn't have to do it, and she could just, just chill, just get a break. She said she let a whole bunch of red flags, they just banners, just bust her in the face. She was like, I get it. I was ready. I was ready to have my wedding. I was ready to be married. I was ready to have a baby. And I just missed a whole lot of stuff that should have
see, and
been
that's what
deal
I
with.
said at the beginning. I was like, the bitch just wanted that shit. She was wanted to do that shit, and he came in right on time, and she was like, okay, and went.
Yep.
That's
She
what
was like, I'm getting older. Like, all my friends is married. They all got kids. Like, I was just ready for my happily ever after. She was like, I missed it. I missed it.
I'm just trying to figure out, because this, like, I'm trying to figure shit out at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because we know each other. So I'm still trying to figure this shit out. How the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's talking about she a Gemini. You could have sworn it was a Scorpio.
You
talk to him in front of me. And I'm going to demonstrate on one of the videos how he used to do his phone calls. Don't worry, it's coming. So we found a new real estate agent. Really
Shit,
nice
right.
guy.
They shouldn't even know what his birthday
His
is
name
for
was
real.
Scott.
That bitch probably
I am using
lying.
his real name. Really nice guy. And we told him what the budget was.
Right, she don't
And
know.
Scott was like, okay, when you guys
That's
are ready, we start looking at houses. Try to look for houses that are empty, because you can actually tour those. If it's a house where someone's already living in there, chances are it's going to be a virtual tour because of COVID. So I found a house that I absolutely, in total, we must have looked at about 15 houses. But I found a house in Smyrna that I absolutely loved. We toured
I
the
like
house.
that one too.
Everything about this house was perfect. The house listed for $699,000. It was a brand new construction build.
The only issue was that the basement was not finished. He wanted the basement to be his man cave. Again, I went with him to tour this house. So this was already feeling very different than the situation in Douglasville, because we did not actually tour the Douglasville house. We only did a FaceTime virtual tour. This house in Smyrna, we toured. We toured this house more than once, and it was gorgeous, fucking gorgeous. So we talked about it. He said that he had the money. Again, the price was $699. He said he felt comfortable putting in an all cash offer. If you remember on the videos before, he told me he had money in his savings from when he played football. So when he said an all cash offer, even I knew you got that kind of money, like where you can cut a cashier's check for $699,000. And he told me he did. He had money in savings from when he played football, and he was very comfortable paying all cash for this home. So the real estate agent, Scott, sent over the paperwork. The paperwork was sent in both of our names. It was sent to my email. That was another thing that I changed after Douglasville. Everything gets sent to me, and then I will be sure that he signs it. So he sent it to me. I looked over the offer. We were going to put in an all cash, full price offer with a request to have the basement finished. Also, we were requesting for the seller.
Yeah, you're not connected. You got to hook it up. It's not connected. When you're ready, let me know. Okay, I see it.
To give us an answer within 24 hours.
Yep.
We were requesting a quick closing.
Okay.
These are just some of the things I remember. I remember 24, like I didn't want to wait on, y'all think about it. 24 hours, let us know if you're accepting the offer or not. And then also a quick closing because it was a new.
I do have one more quick thing.
So we didn't.
Okay.
That did not have nothing to do with dude. Okay. So she said she had that issue, right? And then I'm trying to figure out what took her so long to do the hospital shit too. It's something about this bitch personally. You know what I'm saying? Because she said she waited and then went to the doctor. Then she said she waited. Then the doctor told her 2 or 3 more days. 2 or 3 more days with something dying inside of you, bitch.
I think they say once you take the pill, don't they say give it 48 hours for your body to do it on its own?
Right. Then she said she had to go in and do the DNC. That's what the whole ride was about. For them to take her up there. And that was days later. So it's like, maybe this bitch just didn't want to do shit. She just was like, fuck you, going with the flow with everything.
Maybe.
Because that it's like once you already know, why the doctor didn't just go ahead on and whoop her right there? I got to come back and then make an appointment.
True.
That shit don't make sense. But I had forget you had, all right, I was going to ask you had dropped off then. But yeah, so now we back. But yeah, like what the fuck? Okay, I'm going back.
Okay.
I think I'm put it at 150.
Current tenant to move out. We didn't have to do that. So I watched in our bedroom as he pulled it up because it was a electronic document. He signed his name to the offer for $699,000 cash. He requested again, the seller let us know in 24 hours if they were accepting the offer. So we submitted the offer at around 6 p.m. We were requesting that by 6 p.m. the next day, they let us know if the offer was accepted or not. I watched him sign the offer. I sent the offer back to Scott from my email. All parties had signed. Scott texted us and said, I got it. I'm submitting it. I will let you know what they say. Let's go into part 7. Sorry, let's go into part 8. Good grief, this is getting long. Okay, so I just want to clear up some things that I realized is kind of creating some confusion. So just allow this video to serve as a stop sign. Let's clarify. First of all, the story, background. He was born in Philly, raised in Philly, and moved to Augusta. Story is he moved to Augusta for high school. After high school, he went to college at San Diego State. Enjoyed San Diego State, stayed in San Diego. for quite a while. Got married out in California, had a house in California, played arena football out in California, but his family was back here in Augusta, Georgia. He still had a lot of family up in Philly, but for the most part, he had a sister in Augusta, he had a sister in Douglasville, he had a brother in Baltimore, he had another brother in Philly, and he had a brother in Nashville. So I just want to clarify that in terms of not the demographics, but the geography. Born in Philly, came to Augusta for high school, went to San Diego State for college, played football, stayed at San Diego, got married out there, but still had quite a bit of family here in Augusta, here in Georgia. He also had a sister, I think I said, who lived in Douglasville. I have physically met his aunt who lived in Augusta. I've met his brother who lives in Augusta. I have spoken on FaceTime with a brother who lives in Baltimore. And then I will demonstrate how he used to talk to the brother that lives in Philly. That's coming up. You haven't missed that. In terms of the proposal, you did not miss the story of the proposal. I simply didn't want to share it because it was embarrassing. Basically, he gave me 3 ring options. We went to a jeweler at the Mall of Georgia. He had me pick out 3 rings. I told him which one I liked the most because I knew it wasn't a romantic proposal at all. I knew which ring I liked the most. I told him which one. He basically said, when I'm ready, I'll give you the ring and I'll propose. Fast forward about, I guess it was summer because I was actually pregnant when the ring came. We were sitting at the dinner table. He took the ring box out of his pocket, slammed it on the dinner table. And I was like, what is this? He was like, open it. I opened it. Inside was the ring that I had wanted, that I had chosen at the jeweler. And he was like, all right, so this means that you're going to be my wife. I was pregnant. So again, when I asked y'all to give me grace, it's because there's certain things that's just like, girl, what was you thinking? Trust me. There's no excuse. So there was never a, will you marry me? It was more of a, we're living together. We're having a baby together. We need to get married, because the backstory also was that his dad was a retired police officer, but at one point his father was a pastor. So he could quote the Bible like nobody's business, as we all know. So can Lucifer. But anyway, he could quote the Bible like no one's business. And so,
good point.
That's how we ended up engaged. And I was wearing a ring. I will find a picture and I will try to post it. But I was wearing the ring. Don't worry, there's more to that story as well. So just wanted to clarify some things for the people who were like, wasn't it weird that he had a sister who lived close, but he's from Philly? So I just wanted to definitely bring clarity to what he told me was the backstory. Born in Philly, came to Augusta for high school, went to California for college, played football at San Diego State, played football and arena football, worked at Apple, and then joined a condiment company in California, who then transferred him back to Georgia. He was married in California, and he told me he got divorced in California. That is important as well. That will come up again later. And so the ex-wife, at this point in time, at the time that I'm telling you, part 7, which is the last video I just posted, the ex-wife lived in California with her 2 kids, his 2 stepkids. The 2 stepkids were 17 and 20 or 21, but they were that age group. And he was saying that he was very close with them. So he wanted to keep a tight relationship with them.
Well, how old are they?
And he talked to them, if not every day, every other day.
How old
I say,
are they?
When I say this, I need y'all to understand. When I say that he talked to someone, it means that he was
How
on
old
the
are
phone
they?
in front of me.
I thought the stepkids were the one that was 17 and 20, right?
Because I will touch back on this. He was on the phone,
Right, that would be his
in
ex
front of me,
ex's
talking to
kid.
the person. So he
Yeah.
talked to his siblings every day. He talked to his aunt almost every day. He talked to his family the way I talk to my family almost every day. And again, I will demonstrate how he used to do the phone calls. I will also demonstrate how he used to do the work phone calls, because he called me every single day from work. And he would talk to people while he was on the phone with me. And I could hear people in the background. But that's a whole nother part. So again, buckle your seats. I promise I'm reading your comments, I'm reading your questions, but I wanted to bring this video just to clarify some stuff. Hopefully this helps. And honestly, I hope
So
I know people are fascinated by this.
You
But more
played
than
in this
anything, I
nigga.
hope that
See,
there's
that's
a
why you
woman
can't
watching
play in
this
people's
and she's saying to
delusion.
herself, okay,
Yeah.
it's time for me to ask some questions. That's my hope. All right, part 8 of Who the Fuck Did Marry. So we submitted an offer on the house in Smyrna. I sent it over to Scott, our realtor, and the next day comes, Scott asked if we can take a phone call. So he calls us and tells us that the offer was not accepted and the builder did not do a counter offer. We don't exactly know why. We don't exactly know why he didn't accept it, but the bottom line is that we figured out later on that he didn't want to finish the basement. So the offer was not accepted. The house fell through. I was okay with that because, again, I knew he had put in an offer. So we continued looking at other houses. We found another house in Smyrna that he really liked. I thought that it was way too big for just the two of us. And so the price of this home was much higher than the $750,000 that Chase had approved for the mortgage. So what he explained to me was that he was willing to do the $750,000 mortgage, and he was also willing to put a significant amount of the money in savings on the house, which meant that he was now comfortable going from $750,000 up to about $900,000. Again, his whole explanation was, I have the money where I can put down a substantial down payment, bring down the price of the home, and then basically mortgage the rest of it. So that was now the plan. I was not comfortable with a home over $900,000. But again, keep in mind, I saw the Chase paperwork. So I was like, I just feel more comfortable sticking at the $750,000 mark. That's what you're approved for. Let's go with that. By this point, this is now fall of 2020. We had been talking about marriage. I had my ring. He had made VP at the company. And again, he was calling me every day from work. I need to kind of explain how the company was ran, because when you think VP, you would think he would be in an office. It was a condiment company. So they actually were producing the condiments, and I'm not saying the name of the company on purpose, but they were producing the condiments in this particular plant location. So a lot of times he would simply tell me that he walked the floor, checking in with his subordinates, basically. Now, how did he go to work? For the most part, at this point, he left before I woke up. However, pretty much he wore dress pants, kind of like a dark navy blue cargo pant, and he had a polo shirt with the company logo on it. What I saw a lot of times is that he would not wear a polo shirt to work. He would wear like a company t-shirt. He would wear rubber sole shoes and the navy blue cargo pants. I didn't think it was a uniform, but it reminded me of what someone would wear when I worked at Amazon, if you're going to be doing manual labor. He didn't go to work sloppy looking at all, but it definitely was not suit and tie. Nowhere near suit and tie. It is fair to note that outside of work, he was a man who he loved to dress. He loved to wear the latest Jordans. He loved to collect watches. He collected a lot of Invicta watches. He loved to collect hats. He wore hats, baseball caps everywhere because he didn't like it with his head. So in terms of how he dressed casually, the man, he could dress. In terms of how he dressed for work, yeah, he didn't dress like a VP. But his excuse was, I'm constantly walking the production floor, and I can't be in suit and tie walking the production floor where they're creating the condiments that we're selling. So at this point, again, this is fall. We're still looking at houses. We're still touring houses as much as we can because it is COVID. We had found another house that we really liked and a house that I really, truly wanted to put an offer in on. This was now going to be the second house that we put an offer on. He put in the asking price, I believe, was about $700,000. He put in under asking an offer for about $650,000. I'm guessing, but I'll try to find the house and put it on this and put it on the story. The reason that house fell through, we found out that the home was sitting on a septic tank. We found out the septic tank had an issue, and it would have taken about $15,000 to $20,000 to fix the septic tank. The sellers were not willing to fix the septic tank. Personally, I didn't really care for the house that much. I'm the one who was like, I don't really want it. So even though we put an offer in, we had 24 hours where we could pull our offer back. And so we did. Once we found out, I believe it was in the disclosure. And if you're a realtor, please feel free to tell me if I'm using the wrong terminology. But I believe it was in the disclosure that they told us the septic tank needs to be replaced. That's when I was like, nah, I don't want that house. So we pulled out. The house fell through. And so I was fine with it because, again, I was heavily involved. I saw him sign the offer. I knew every step of what was going on. Our real estate agent, Scott, was amazing, but you will see when I get to it where he made a mistake as a real estate agent. So house number 2 fell through. We then moved on, saw a few more houses, and then we get to house number 3. I'm going to pause talking about the houses because now I need to introduce what happened with the cars. Stay tuned.
All right. Part 9 of Who Fuck Did I Marry? So we're pausing on the house stuff. Let me tell you about the car. So when I met my ex-husband, I was driving a 2012 Nissan Rogue, fully loaded, had quite a few miles on it, but it got me from A to B. It was in good condition, but I was upside down in the car. He was driving a 2018 Ford Taurus, sport mode. I know he had a sport mode on the car, and I love driving that car. When he told me how he was a regional manager, he told me that one of the perks that came with the job was that he would be getting a company car. And so we spent time going to Range Rover of South Atlanta. We spent time going to Jaguar. We spent time going to BMW. We spent time going to Ford, which was on Mount Zion in Morrow, if you all are familiar with that area. He test drove a whole lot of cars. In the end, he decided on a BMW sedan. I was there when he test drove the car. I got in the car with him. I loved it. And he explained to the salesperson, you know, I'm getting a company car. I need to get a printout of the full price of the car, tax, tag, and title. Because what my company is going to do is wire over the money for the car. The salesperson was like, okay, you know, apparently that happens a lot. So he gave him a printout with the tax, tag, and title for the car. In front of me and the salesperson, he called the person in the finance department for his job. Obviously, I have no idea what this person's name is, but he called the person. He explained to them, this is the amount of money. He said the president of the company, so-and-so, has authorized for him to get a car, not spending more than, I think, $90,000 tax, tag, and title. The BMW came out to just under $90,000. And so I remember this conversation so fucking vividly. So he's on the phone in front. I'm sitting down. The salesperson sitting down at their desk, and he's like, they put me on hold. And so he's like, I guess the person comes back and he says, yeah, the price of the car is blah, blah, blah. He was like, give me a second and I can send you a picture of that printout that shows tax, tag, and title for the BMW. He gets off the phone. He takes a picture of it. He sends it to whoever. He waits about 10 minutes. He called the person back. He says, did you get it? Apparently the person did get it. But the person who can actually physically do the wire transfer had gone home for the day. So what he says to the BMW salesperson, he's like, okay, we're going to have to do this tomorrow because so-and-so went home for the day. I don't know who the salesperson is. I can only tell you from my viewpoint what I thought. I had no reason to think this was a lie. I really didn't. Because again, you got to please keep in mind the circumstances that all of this is happening. We're inside the dealership. We're sitting at the desk of this person. He gave us the printout. He's on the phone, doing business, basically saying, look, this is how much money the car is going to cost. He's taking a picture of it. He seemingly is texting someone saying this is how much, this is proof of how much it is. Then he asked the BMW salesperson, I need your wire transfer information. The guy got up, rushed over to, I guess, their finance area to get the bank wire information, because obviously you have to wire it a certain kind of way. Rushes back over, gives it to my ex-husband. My ex-husband's like, okay, first thing in the morning, we will get this wired over, and then, I'll come and pick up the car. My fiance, will drive me up here to pick up the car. So we leave. He felt like, because at the time that this all happened, I was pregnant. So he felt like, look, we're about to have a baby. I don't want you driving that Nissan Rogue. I want to get you something. I want to get you something more secure, something new. I really wanted a Kia.
Don't tell me you're going to make her trade her car in. Don't tell me you're going to make her trade her car in. Oh, no.
I really wanted a Kia Telluride. And he was like, well, let's look at the warranty. This man knew a lot about cars. He knew a lot about the warranty. He knew a lot about the depreciation value. And so he did talk to me a lot about what will we get the most for our money. We test drove, when I say we, I test drove a Kia Telluride, a Kia Sorento. He didn't like either of those. He had me test drive a Ford Explorer. He didn't really care for that. Then came time where he really wanted me to get a BMW. He really wanted me to get a BMW X5. So he took me to local BMW Imports, which, if you know anything about Atlanta, it's off of Cobb Parkway, but you can see it off the highway. I believe 285 is where you can see the Global Imports BMW dealership. He took me there. He had me test drive an X5, an X6. He also had me test drive I think I'm gonna get the numbers wrong, a 525, which was a sedan. I did not like that. I wanted an SUV. I loved driving the BMW. He also had me drive an M Series, test drive an M Series. So he was very adamant that I should get a BMW. The reason being is because, according to him, he had a BMW in California when he lived in San Diego. He had a BMW that he loved. It was a white BMW. He showed me pictures of the BMW. So he showed me pictures of this white BMW that he had. And unfortunately, the car got totaled about 2 months before he moved to Georgia. So he had received money, not a lot, but some money to get another car, and he used it to get the Ford Taurus because he was like, I just need a car that's going to get me from A to B until I get to a house and I'm much more settled. For him, he was like, I'm really giving myself 60 days to get settled here in Georgia after moving from California. But then he met me. Again, that's the story. So he had me test drive the BMW. So much so, I loved the BMW. Loved it. I wanted a dark blue BMW with cognac interior. I wanted an X5, and I wanted an M Series. So I can clearly tell y'all that's exactly the car I wanted. We were online looking for that particular car because every dealership had it. I was okay with a black BMW if needed. But I really wanted dark blue, and I really wanted that cognac colored interior. So he felt like, I want you to consider all of a sudden an Audi Q8. Let's just see how you like it. If you don't really like it, then we will go back to the BMW. I cannot tell you why he switched up. I can't. But I can tell you he took me to an Audi dealership on Peachtree Industrial. He test drove an Audi and I test drove an Audi Q8. I loved the Q8. Loved it. But I was tired of test driving cars. By this point, I had test driven so many cars. Our weekends were spent either looking at a house or test driving cars. And I was picky, I will admit that. So he had me test drive the Q8. I really liked it. I finally just told him, look, I'm good with either the BMW or the Audi, because I'm tired of test driving cars. He told my family was buying me a new car because, keep in mind, let me let y'all know. He had met my family initially on Zoom because, again, we were locked down. He had met my family. He also had met my family in person because at this point, it was like, look, if you're not showing any symptoms, maybe we can do family dinner. And so he had met my family in person. And now we will go ahead and move towards part 10 of this series. Okay, part 10. Who the fuck did I marry? Okay, had to sneeze. All right, so at this point, I had test driven all these cars. Kias, hell, he even had me test drive a Nissan Murano, but the main two were BMW and an Audi. He had told my grandfather he was getting me a car. He had told my aunt he was getting me a car, that he was going to, he was like, she's going to be my wife. I want her to be in something secure. So my family was really like, wow, who knew that he had this kind of money? And so I hated the fact that he did, because anytime he got around my family, here's another red flag to put in the United Nations of red flags. He would always talk about money, and he would always brag. I never realized it in real time. I didn't realize it until I was out of the situation. He always bragged about the fact that he could fight, the fact that he had money, and the fact that he played football. Those are the three things he always bragged about. Back to the cars.
Oh, that means
so
that was a lie.
I told him, I was like, pick one between the BMW and the Audi, because you said you're buying it. So pick one. So this man chose the Audi. So he takes me to the dealership. I wanted a white Q8. He does give me the printout of how much it's going to cost, tax, tag, and title to get this Q8. Gentleman who's helping us gives him the printout. He's saying he's going to pay this money for the car out of the savings account that's offshore. That's the story. That's what he's saying. So he apparently is asking the guy, is there a holding fee? Can I pay a holding fee to secure this car while I'm working to get the money transferred? Because obviously with COVID, it's going to take long for the banks to transfer the money. Side note, I need everyone to understand, one of the reasons why he was able to get away with the stuff he got away with is because we were on lockdown. It's crazy because it's now 2024, but I don't know, do we all remember how it seemed like a lot of stuff stopped in 2020 now? Keep in mind, that's not an excuse I'm making, because shit still got done. But in terms of business as usual just was not happening in 2020 at this time. So when he's saying, it's going to take a while for the bank to transfer the money, the gentleman who was working at Audi he didn't make a face. He didn't blink. He was like, I know it's going to take a while because of COVID. So basically what ends up happening is we leave. He has the printout. He calls the bank, or he calls his financial advisor, who does have a name. The financial advisor's name is Eric. I feel comfortable using certain people's names, especially if we find out they didn't exist. So he calls Eric. He tells Eric in front of me, hey, I need to transfer $72,526, whatever the amount was, because I'm buying a car for my fiance. This is the bank account information. Do you need me to give it to you over the phone, or do you need me to email it to you? Pause. I can't hear what the person's saying, but that's what he would do. Do you need me to give it to you over the phone, or can I email it to you? Okay. All right. Give me a few minutes and I'll go ahead and email it to you. All right. Let me know. I'll call you back to let you find out if you received it. Okay. Hang up. So I'm hearing this because, again, I'm not paying attention to, did I hear anybody on the other phone? Did I hear anybody on the other end? So he proceeds to type up an email, type up something, telling him this is the information that we need. I didn't think anything of it. He called me at work the next day to tell me that the money was sent to Audi, that he called Audi, and he confirmed with Audi that they received the money. What he told me is that the car is going to be delivered to the house. Y'all, it's not that I lived in the hood, because I didn't, but I did not live in an area of Clayton County where you would have a brand new Audi delivered to your house. So I remember saying to him, I don't want that car delivered to the house, not yet, because I need to put that car in the garage. And my Nissan I only had a 1-car garage, so my Nissan was in the garage. So he said, okay, well, let me call them back and change the delivery date. Can you be home, or can you do a half day? So he's asking me, can you work a half day so that they can deliver the car and you will be home for it? I said, yes, that's fine. Because again, it's COVID, I'm working from home anyway. I only had to go in the office 2 days a week. So I'm at home the next day. He told me the car would be delivered between the hours of 1 and 3. Obviously, between 1 and 3, nothing happened. So 3 o'clock, I called him. He's at work. He sends me the voicemail. Calls me back. I said, it's 3 o'clock. No one ever came with the car. What's going on? And then I remember I was like, well, do I need to call Audi myself? Because I thought that you handled it. But if you didn't handle it, do I need to call them? And so whenever I would suggest I will handle it, he would get very, very defensive. Red flag number 472. So he was like, no, I will call Audi. Don't do anything. I'll call Audi and find out what's going on. Okay. So I'm at home chilling, cooking dinner, normal night. He calls me back and says, yeah, the car was stuck on the truck in Spartanburg because apparently that's where their deliveries come from. So when he told me this, I was in the kitchen laughing because by this point, I will be honest, and I told you I'll be honest even when it makes me look bad. I was guilty of, on one hand, I believed him, and on the other hand, I was like, let me see what lie he come up with. Let me just see. But keep in mind, my brain was really like not rationalizing, not comprehending how deep the lie was. I just thought that no one told him the car was going to be delivered, and he made that up. I had no idea how deep the lie went. So he said, the car's in Spartanburg. It should be delivered this weekend. The weekend came, he had a whole other excuse. I don't remember what the exact excuse was as to why the car was never delivered. I do remember we got into an argument and I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna get a new car my damn self. I don't even need your help. Which is probably one of the worst things you can tell a narcissist because they love to be the hero, it's all about them. But I was like, don't even worry about it. I'll get when I have the money to get a car myself, I'll do it. I don't want to hear anything else about a new car. I don't want to hear shit else about a car. Because at this point, I was spending way too much time trying to figure out, are we getting a car? Are we getting a house? Like, what the fuck is going on? Always there was an excuse. So when I told him I don't want to hear anything else about a car, and I am not going to a dealership to test drive another car, that ended that whole discussion right there. So this is where I'm going to interject what I believe was happening. I believe that my ex-husband is the type of person, he gets off, nut. He gets off on you being excited about.
Wait, no, she didn't have to do the thing. No, she didn't. Oh, shit. Girl, this is crazy. What the fuck is going on?
It gets so much worse.
Like,
I'm telling you, this took my whole weekend and a little bit of Monday.
Shit, I can't believe this. Damn. But my whole thing is, I got this running on, I think 1.5. How slow is she talking? Because this shit still seems slow to me.
Yeah, that's what took so long.
Because I'm like, what the hell?
She
about something that he knows you will never get.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying she take you through everything and it's so slow. So that's why all the time ended up coming up. It could have been maybe 30 parts if she kind of picked up the pace a little bit.
Okay. I got this shit going. She's still talking, Let's see. I'm just still in.
So I believe that he enjoyed going to car dealerships. He enjoyed watching me test drive a car and get excited about it, knowing I was not going to get it. It is the level of cruelty. And again, I'm telling y'all stuff that I found out way later on. It is the level of cruelty that I still cannot comprehend. So the whole issue about the BMW and the Audi, I think he just enjoyed seeing me get excited and then pull it away. Part 11 coming up. All right, part 11. So for this part, I'm just going to give you some backstory on the family. Pause all the stuff about the house. Pause the stuff about the car. This is backstory on his family, my ex-husband's family. All right, follow me. My ex-husband's parents, mom and dad, are both deceased. Mom passed away from cancer. Dad passed away shortly after her. I'm not sure what he passed away from. So he has a number of siblings. He has two. With his parents, he has two brothers. One is older, lives in Philly. One is younger by 2 years, lives in Nashville. He has two sisters. One, Shanae, is older, lives in Douglasville with her husband and two kids, a boy and a girl. Younger sister Kim is the baby, lives in Augusta with her husband, worked at, I think he told me, Procter & Gamble. That was the story. He had two half-brothers that were through his dad. One brother lived in Baltimore. The other brother lived in Augusta. The brother that lived in Augusta, I have physically met in person, shook hands, hugged, all that. The brother that lived in Baltimore I had FaceTimed with, talked to him. The brother that lived in Philly, the older brother that he looked up to, I have never talked to him on the phone. I would always talk to him through my ex-husband. So the conversation would be like, hey babe, brother so-and-so said hey. He didn't call him brother so-and-so. We'll call him John. John said hey. Hey John. I would be in the bathroom doing my hair, brushing my teeth. Hey John. And he'd be like, did you hear? He said, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. How's he doing? Because that's just me. And so he would relay back and forth. He talked to John every day from starting around July after the grandmother passed away. He would talk to John every morning.
Okay.
We both would be getting ready for work, and he would be on the phone with John.
What is the point of that?
You know what? I don't know. She don't know, and when she talked to the family, they didn't know.
It's like, but I mean, yeah, the specific part. I mean, like I can understand about lying about certain things, but what the fuck are you lying about this for?
So apparently, to spoiler alert, he batshit crazy, certified. He's so fucking crazy that the father came out of retirement to buy his meds. And then he just was like, I ain't gonna take the meds. I just rather stay crazy.
Oh, okay. So tell me
So
something because
he's certified schizophrenic and bipolar. So I don't know.
okay, so he could actually, if he's schizophrenic, he could actually thought he was talking to that motherfucker for real. Then.
Yep.
Damn. So that's the one that you hallucinate. Everything else is depression.
Yep.
That's the one you be seeing shit and hearing shit and doing shit.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, now I know that is a little more.
It makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I need to take my braids down so bad. I just don't feel like it. Part of me like start now, and I'm like, no. Oh shit. But at least I know I'm talking to you, nigga.
Right. Like I know I can see it. Oh my God.
Okay, let me go ahead and press play. But that's crazy. Hell no.
Okay.
This nigga making up siblings.
They will be talking for 30, 40 minutes, talking about football, talking about other siblings. They will be talking about cars. I mean, it was really like not a big deal. They would talk about the brother in Baltimore. They would talk about the brother in Augusta. And then they would reminisce. This is the conversations I can hear. Let me explain. When I say I can hear a conversation, what that means is I am physically standing near him or next to him where I could hear him with the phone up to his ear talking to someone because it wasn't me. Okay. I may not hear the other person because the phone call may not be on speakerphone. But what I hear is, for example, I hear, hey man, what y'all doing? Oh, for real? Y'all barbecuing this weekend? What y'all making? Oh, that's what's up. Nah, I think me and her gonna stay in this weekend because, you know, these numbers is looking crazy with COVID. Yeah, she over here. She's sitting right here. She watched the TV. Okay, hold on. John said, hey. Hey, John. You heard her? Okay. All right, bro. I just wanted to check in on you. That's the type of conversation I'm explaining. Okay, so I hope that gives a little more clarity about the type of conversations I'm hearing. So, I don't know why this light keeps going.
So you know what? I don't play that shit. I got to hear that voice. Fuck that shit.
That's how he would talk to his siblings. His grandma passed away.
Don't mean that.
Called me around April or May and told me that his grandmother passed away. His grandmother on his dad's side had died suddenly from COVID. She had symptoms.
I'm too worried about other shit to just.
He was distraught. He was crying. He wasn't eating. He was just
you know what
I'm
saying?
Listening to music, not watching
you go to the
TV.
side, talk to a motherfucker in the corner and shit. Nah, fuck that. We gonna all be friends. Hello.
Let's all go sit in the corner. Oh, we going outside? Okay, come on. Let me get my jacket.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I got leases. We all good. We all good. We all good. The fuck? You're not gonna sit in the corner and act like yes, tell us that. Nah, fuck that. Hey, show me you who the fuck you talking to. You're not gonna routinely call a motherfucker in the morning either. I ain't on that bullshit. I don't give a fuck who that is. That shit's stupid. So that it's like,
How girly Spidey sense didn't like crack a dawn early morning. That's him telling somebody else good morning type shit. Like
Yeah.
your Spidey sense didn't go off, bitch. First of all, for that, just
I agree.
investigate. And she's about making diaries. Well, bitch, are you paying attention to what the fuck you saying?
She was on point though, cause look, if he's schizophrenic, you probably need to make a captain's log, cause you might be found in a deep freezer somewhere.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. A motherfucker can do some shit like that. But
Yeah, but at what point do you be like, I don't feel comfortable sleeping in the same house with somebody that is fake buying houses? Like let's just stop where we at. We
this
on
shit is
two
just
houses. No, I don't even feel comfortable taking a nap, fam. What you doing? Get your hand out my pocket, nigga. What? I just don't understand how you can rest peacefully and be like, oh yeah, I know he's lying, but I'll just wait for it to fall through. And I like her. I really do. Especially as the story goes on. I like her a little more. But at what point do you be like, I want you away from me? The baby took care of itself.
right.
So yeah, let you just go back to your studio or wherever.
But that's what she get. She got rid of she said she got rid of everything, and she done slowed up on everything because she done let him start paying the bills.
Yeah, she said he came in like that. As soon as he was
Right.
supposed to just be, quarantined, and he came in with all his stuff, and she was just like, okay. And then she got pregnant so fast, it was really,
Right. You know that bitch running around jacking off and shit. Fuck it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know that's
yeah.
what she doing. Fuck, what
Hmm.
else? Because she's thinking they got it like that. And then
Yeah,
at some point, and that's when she got touched, and he told her, no, pay attention to this, and I'm gonna clear that off. I'm gonna clear your whole slate. You don't even have to be
yeah,
bothered with this nigga.
yeah.
Cleared her whole slate for her.
Definitely
Completely.
did.
She still had a car. She still had everything she started off with, not to mention the little change she might have kept because he was
Yeah,
paying the bill.
I agree.
And she wanted the dream, and that's what ended up happening.
And she
A
said,
nightmare.
and that's what I appreciate about her. She be like, look, that's on me. I
Yeah,
dropped the ball. I dropped like 18 balls real quick. I dropped them all.
Somehow she admit she threw. Like I act
Yeah.
like I didn't see that motherfucker right there. I act like I needed him to finish these bills. And at least she was being real. I needed him to finish these motherfucking bills. I ain't see that shit. Fuck it. I don't see you. I don't see you. Oh, I can't forget we not on screen. I don't see you. Shit. But you know me, so you know what I did.
Yes, I absolutely do. That's so
Girl,
funny. Yeah.
we can
She
play
went.
it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, if we on the talk, that's the whole point of watching it with somebody so we can talk.
No, I was just seconding. Yeah, she was like, yeah, I love the break. Like
Yeah.
me just having to worry about my phone bill and my car note. And then sometimes he'll come and cook, even though he couldn't cook. The effort was amazing.
Yeah, I felt the on it when she said it. When she said, yeah, I felt on that. I felt on that.
Do you know
She was
this heavy set guy? I'm sorry. Do you
Go
know
ahead.
this heavy set guy that talks about his dates on Facebook? And I'm sure he on TikTok too. But he have these weird dates.
Is he white with reddish blonde hair named Skippy?
No, he
Oh,
black and he puts you in the mind of Ruben Studdard a little bit, but a little smaller.
no, I only know about Skippy.
Next
And
time I
Skippy,
see him,
he
I'm gonna see
gross on
this
purpose.
video.
He
What
asked
happened
girls
with
he asked girls stupid gross shit on purpose. Like he it's like he wanna be he wanna be an incel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, can you kiss me? Ew.
Yeah.
No. The girl be like, I'm finna go on. Once she told her, I'm finna go on another date. He was like, well, I'm gonna stand out here and wait with you. She was like, no, go away.
Yeah.
So I've seen Skippy shit, but other than that, no, not really. I be watching. Like I just got the notification for this other show I watched. This YouTuber. They talk about Shirley Strawberry husband.
Oh yeah.
And she from Shy Girl, so you know I gotta watch her.
For sure.
Yeah, so I watch it and I be cracking the fuck up. And then she'll say something and she'll realize she said some Chicago shit. She'll be like, well, okay, that's some Chicago shit. So look, let me explain to y'all. You know, because you know we got our own language.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so she's like, let me explain what the fuck I just said, and now we can go back to it. Because she was calling somebody a clucker the other day, and they was like, what?
Oh my
What? They like cluck ass, hype ass bitch. You know how we go. She had a whole fucking good ass rant. So, and then she had to stop and explain her rant to some people that didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. But I got it. I was cracking up. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go back to this shit. But yeah, so but yeah, she's interesting. They interesting. I'm press play on this Risa Tisa, Resta Tessa. I don't know what the fuck her name is, but and you know what? I ain't even gonna act like my shit don't stink. I understand what the fuck this bitch on.
Me too.
That's how I can see what the fuck. I understood what the fuck this. Yeah, I understand this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm 44. You have everybody had that day like for real. Ooh,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she had her last grass. That nigga had a little change, and she was like, "All right, let's do this." And
Yep. And I've also weighed my options. Like, okay, that's bad, but at least I get a ride home and I get restaurant food, and I probably should have set my stakes higher, but who knew? Anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's like I ain't even gonna act like that some of this shit. Oh, I can understand and hear her clearly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This shit. And throw a match. What bitch I match you on? You know, I can match
Yeah.
this bitch up a couple shits. Her and Shirley Strawberry and this motherfucker. You feel me? But
Yeah.
all in all, it's just I ain't gonna act like it's sugar and all that shit. But damn, bitch, you ain't even there yet. Like, we at part 11. You are not married to this nigga. You do not have any motherfucking children by this nigga. What the fuck are you doing? If you was covering all your bills at first. I did not hear her say she quit or got fired. Which means she still has her income. What the fuck are you doing? You just that's why I said at this point she's having fun. This is her excitement. What he's going to lie to her about and how he's going to get out of it. This is her excitement at this point because she was like, I just had to see how he was gonna get out of this. I just had to see how he was gonna. That was her excitement. That was the only. That's what she got out of the relationship. That was how he was entertaining her, but she didn't realize he was fucking up her life while that shit was going. While she was laughing at this dumbass nigga, bitch, you a dumbass bitch.
Yeah, she had
no idea. Nigga run your life into the ground while you laugh at it.
Yeah, she had no idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Sad because he was like, you know, my grandmother was always my support system. So from what I saw, it really bothered him. I did not think anything of it. I'm one of those people. If you tell me somebody in your family passed away, I'm gonna believe you because I don't play about death. And I guess other people don't either.
No.
However, that is not the same for everyone else. But we'll get there. So family, he had his sister Shantae who lived in Douglasville. Like I said, she was married with 2 kids. Apparently she was a nurse. So when I had my miscarriage, that was the sister that he was.
Wait. So wait. Let's. You did say this thing, and I didn't write it, but I hear it now. Who the fuck was gonna take her to the hospital then? If there's
who the fuck knows? There is no sister.
Cause I heard you when you said it, but I was doing other shit.
So real quick, one of his ex bitches, because they came out too when he started saying that she was lying and he was gonna sue her and stuff. 2 of his exes came out and was like, nah, she absolutely telling the truth. That's the same game plan that he ran on us. And one of them said that it was the ex that was on the obituary. She lived close to them, so it might have been her.
Oh, I don't know. See, I know that ex-wife came out and the ex-girlfriend came out, and now his sister talking out loud and shit. So that's what I said. This thing took a whole life of its own. If I don't get at least this basic in me, then how the fuck am I finish?
Yep.
So that's
But
like I can't wait no more. Come on and do this shit with me.
That's the only woman that I know of that stay by them. They said the ex-wife that was on listed on the obituary. It was like she stayed in that county. So that's the only person I can think of, unless he just was like, "You want my sister to take you," and then was gonna eventually be like, "She didn't come and get you." Oh man.
Because what if for real her family was she said it was a friend and her family, right? They ended up doing it. So what if they was like, what if old girl didn't decide to take off work no more, and then her auntie was busy?
Yep.
Because all I heard at first was like he ain't there, and then he want her to transfer shit through another nigga. She eased out within there, bitch. She didn't even, bitch. You didn't pick that up either. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Who the fuck was gonna pick you up, bitch? And how safe was you gonna be? What the fuck? Maybe he was just gonna call it as the Uber and hope it was gonna be a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
I don't see how that was gonna work. I don't see how that math come off. Not that. That's too advanced of a lie. You can't. Somebody on their way and then they never come and you gotta go to the hospital. Ooh, that's.
He was like, my sister will take you to the hospital. Like, that's what family does. Okay. I had never met Shantae. I've been on the phone, or excuse me, I've been around him when he was on the phone with Shantae. Never heard her part of the conversation. But he would be talking to his sister. That's what he said. That's what it sounded like too. Now, what is interesting is that we lived maybe 35, 40 minutes away from Douglasville. So there were plenty of times that he had invited me to go with him to his sister's house. Okay, let me tell you how this would always work out. Total times he invited me was probably 3 times for different barbecues or whatnot. The first time he invited me, I was like, no, I ain't going because, again, COVID. And she's a nurse. Hell no. The second time he was like, yeah, she invited us, but I don't think we should go because COVID. No. The third time I agreed to go. I was like, absolutely, I'll go meet your sister. Like, that'd be great. On our way to her house, to Douglasville, to go see the sister. Apparently he got a phone call. The phone was always like on vibrate, but he got a phone call and he told me that something came up, and so she had to cancel the barbecue to get together, whatever. And so I was just like, oh man, okay, well, hopefully we can go another time. It didn't happen close enough for me to have red flags, if that makes sense. But at this point, as y'all probably like, girl, you so blind. But again, I didn't think anything of it because it's like, okay, it fell through. We'll see. We'll reschedule. And so we just went out to eat, and then he talked to another brother, the brother from Augusta that he would have on speakerphone. So it was like, I didn't think anything of it. I really didn't. Man, and the more I talk about it, the more I realize like I'm not a dumb person, but it just never dawned on me the things that you have to now investigate. It didn't dawn on me, but nevertheless, that is the backstory for his family, right? Grandmother passed away. 3 weeks later, he called me and told me his uncle had passed away from COVID. The uncle had tested positive, had to go into the hospital, and he died. It was a bit of a red flag. But like I said, I don't play about death. So I was just like, wow, because of these 2 deaths, he became a stickler about COVID. And when I mean a stickler, wear your mask, wear gloves, hand sanitize, wash your hands. Like, he was annoying about making sure neither one of us caught COVID. So now I'm gonna give you the backstory in regards to what I was told with the ex-wife. Okay, I know I look rough, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, so this is part 12.
She took that hair off, though. That shit wasn't working for her.
So this is the backstory of what I was told for
she
the
looked better
ex-wife.
like that shit.
This is important.
She does.
Pay attention. All right. This is 2020. So this is what I was told in 2020. I was told that he and his ex-wife used to be friends. Then they started dating and subsequently got married. They got married in California. He had bought a house with the money that he made from arena football. He apparently had gotten married on the
should be cute.
downward of the arena football career. Had a nice house. He showed me a picture of the house, showed me pictures inside the house. Remember that? Showed me pictures inside the house. It was a really nice home in San Diego. And basically what happened was that he came home from work early one day and the hiccup, sorry. Came home early from work one day, and his wife was sleeping with another man. The man was in the house. He and the man get into
Can we
it.
pause
Her
it for
son,
1 second?
who is about 17 years old in 2020, she had 2 kids, a daughter and a son. The son apparently was on his way home from school.
Yep.
Now, it's so funny to me. Hold on, let me close my door. It's so funny to me that he
You
said,
know you still online, though, right?
huh?
You said
You
let
said
you shut
what?
your door, but you online. We ain't talking regular, nigga.
Nah, I know. No, what was funny to me was no, Josh was on the phone, so I didn't want to. But what's funny to me is that he said that his ex, he walked in on his ex cheating on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he said that she is lying, he said, I walked in with you sleeping with whatever name, and then we went to therapy and we couldn't get past it. Like, that's just his go-to lie.
That he saw somebody cheating in the bed.
Right. That's
but
why he always break up with them.
You got to be a good slick nigga to catch a woman actually in the bed fucking a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas be slipping, you know what I'm saying? But you got to be a slick ass nigga to catch a bitch in the bed. You can catch a phone, but catch her in the bed,
Yeah, you gotta be quick.
Expect that. That's a lie. But he said that he saw her doing that. She had to be either slipping or not, didn't give a fuck.
He's what? I forget the name, but he was like, I tell the truth. I saw you sleeping with whatever.
His name Legion.
Right. His name is Legion, but he said the name of the person she supposedly cheated with, that he caught her with in his video, saying that she was lying.
That's the thing. I've been trying to go on order. So I've been trying to finish her so I can go finish him. So I can go to the sister, to the wives and shit. But it's been so long, and I had another co-star with me, but I don't know what the hell he doing. So I'm like, I'm trying to finish this. So I don't know what he doing. And that's why I was telling you, come do this with me already, because I want to do it with a girl talk too.
Yeah.
Especially this needs to be girl talk. Because guys gonna lie about this bullshit. That's probably why he's throwing around. Because guys gonna lie about this bullshit. But like, I'm appalled. You a lie, nigga. You just said that out last week. Let's sit down and shut up.
Oh my God.
You know. So let's go ahead and do some girl stuff. Let's go.
Okay.
From school when my ex-husband found his previous wife in bed with another man. So the story goes that he and the guy fought. He kicked the guy out. He kicked his ex-wife out, but told her the kids could stay. The kids are not biologically his. Those are his stepkids. She was like, you must be kidding. Like, I'm not leaving my kids here. The kids are old enough to where they were like, we don't want to go because you fucked up. We don't want to leave. So apparently she leaves. The kids stay with him for a few weeks. And then she gets her own place. The kids move out, move in with their mom. He files for divorce in California. He files for divorce in California, and it was an ugly divorce. She was asking for spousal support, all kinds of stuff. And then it turned into, I'll help you with the kids, not child support, but just I will give you some money for the kids, because apparently he.
So did this actually happen?
No, this is just what he's saying happened, but no, that is not what happened.
Okay, the way she's standing, I'm thinking that she was there at the court. Okay,
he was very close to the kids, and he wanted to keep a relationship with the kids. Their biological fathers, apparently there were 2 fathers. Their biological fathers were not in the picture. So the divorce starts out contested and ugly, eventually becomes amicable. Eventually they become cordial with each other. So my ex-husband moved. This is all before he ever met me. So I'm telling you the story of what I was told in 2020. So eventually, about 2 years later, is when his job approached him about an opportunity to transfer to Georgia. And so he took it. New beginning, fresh start. He has family in Georgia. He took it. He told me this story pretty much the second or third conversation we had. So it was always from the beginning that she had cheated. He caught her, and he had filed for divorce, but he was still close to the kids. They still had a great relationship. I've heard him.
Girl. Okay. This is. You remember back in the day when we was younger, right?
Mhm.
And our mama would go somewhere and we'd be like, where the fuck she think she going? Right.
Mhm.
So nowadays they got this new shit. So this one that made me put this thing on my fucking phone. So she know
Ah,
where I am
I love
and checks
that.
at all times.
I love that.
And it's like, I can show you the scar. I'm sure you my kid. You my kid. I'm not yours. I can show you the scar. I promise. I can show you the scar. You know what I'm saying? But she has to make sure she keep track on me.
Yeah, that way she don't have to worry.
Right, and
I get
and that's what and she on it too. So I check to see what she had to.
okay.
It'll tell me. It'll tell us if the other person's phone is dying. The thing will text
Okay.
me and tell me to call her and tell her phone is dying.
I like that. What's the app, please?
It's okay, let me go. It's called. I know it's 360 something, but the name of it is beginning part. Come on. Yeah, it's Life 360.
Life 360. Thank you.
And yeah, and it if her phone is down, where she at, if she walking, if she driving, we can go back and forth like that, and that's how we do.
That's awesome.
Girl, so it's like, I'm your mama. You think you put a tracker on me and know where I'm going and what I'm doing?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
It comes in handy when she be going out of town, though. I always know where she is. So it works that way. So I love that too. But that just is crazy. So let me go back.
All right.
I've heard him on the phone with the kids, just encouraging them, helping the 17-year-old like with homework. The kids really apparently wanted to meet me, and I was fine with that. He would send the money, if they needed something, because he loved the kids as if they were his own. I'm telling you the story as I was told it in 2020. So let's see, around April or May of 2020, he informs me that his ex-wife has moved to Georgia. Apparently, she's staying with her sister in Gwinnett County. So she has moved to Georgia. The two kids are now in Georgia. And so when he tells me all this, I'm like, so what's that supposed to mean? Now, I will say this. He never made it seem as if she wants him back. He never presented that. It was always, no, we're cool for the kids. We're cool for the kids. But he's never presented that she was trying to get him back. I feel like it's fair to her for me to say that. And again, stay with me. It all comes out. But that was the backstory in regards to the ex-wife, that they got married in California, they divorced in California, and then she eventually moved to Georgia, to Gwinnett County, after he had transferred to Georgia for his job. He did tell me that, every now and then he'll get a text message from her. He told me that he, told her when I was pregnant, he felt like she needed to hear that from him instead of hearing it from the kids. And we got into a bit of an argument about that, but honey, in the big scheme of things, that anyway, so we got into
He was right about
like,
that.
the fuck,
If
that's
that
my
shit was,
business.
he was
But
supposed to
that's
tell.
the overall backstory
Yeah.
of her.
I think so.
Remember,
You think so?
because there will be a quiz.
Yeah.
But just remember, he met her in California, married her in California, divorced her in California. She moved to Georgia, to Gwinnett County, after he moved to Georgia. Are we clear? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what he's gonna have to pick up then.
Part 13
Yeah.
of Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
It was friend.
So I've kind of given you guys all the backstory. Let's just kind of recap real quick. So I told you how we met in March of 2020. Basically, Georgia got shut down. I keep saying shut down, got locked down. We decided to quarantine together. I know it was crazy. It was crazy.
Bitch, the
really
world shut down.
Yeah.
Thought he liked me. So I told you guys how we met. Things moved at a rapid pace. Met in March. Moved in together pretty much beginning
There's some
end of
pretty
March,
lips on
beginning
her
of
wall.
April.
I like that.
Found out I was pregnant in May.
Me too.
Lost the baby in June. Had to have surgery in July. Started looking for houses. Started looking at cars. All this stuff happened literally between March and the end of, and August is when I got my car. So got a car in August. He paid the down payment for that car, which I was shocked by. And no, it was not a BMW or an Audi. It was a Nissan Altima. but I loved that car at the time. So he paid the down payment for that car, told me he would help me with the car payment. The biggest mistake that I made, and I'll explain why I say this. The biggest mistake I made was that I signed myself up for a car note, where I knew I needed his help to pay the car note. I knew better. My mom has always taught me, do not ever put yourself in a position where you were financially dependent on a man. And all of that went out the window. And the reason why I say that was the biggest mistake is because when I pulled back the layers of this whole monstrosity of life that I lived for 2020 and 2021, it really does boil down to the fact that I truly ended up marrying him more out of fear than anything else.
Yeah.
And I'll expound upon that later. But I got the car in August. And by this point, I was exhausted of looking at cars. I was mad that I didn't get a BMW X5 dark blue with cognac interior.
No, she wants to get something and that motherfucker. Yeah, she lost that amen. She wanted it.
And picturing myself in the master bedroom,
That's
the
why she
kitchen,
was
the island,
the way.
you know, all that stuff. I'm a visual person, and
she wanted something. I think that damn dude. That nigga fucked her over.
So now we're going to segue into fall, going into the holidays. Here's what happened. In October, we looked at another house. This house was in Marietta. Absolutely gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I'm going to say that the house was about $700,000. I really liked the house. I could see myself living there. I could see myself cooking there. And so subsequently, my ex-husband put in
Hold on, love. I'll be back.
That house. I watched him put an all-cash offer.
Okay, you want me to keep going to pause?
Pause it. I'm gonna turn off for a second.
24 hours later.
Okay.
Oh. Thanks.
You still on? Your volume's still on. I don't know how to cut it off yet.
Thanks.
Shell. Wait. Never mind. I can fix it. I got it right here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I know how to do it. Okay, so let's, while we wait, come back. Let me see what else we can look at really quickly. I don't know. We could just wait for her to come back. You know what? Let me roll up, and then I'll be ready when she come back. But I needed somebody to walk me through this, because ain't no way. I don't understand some of this stuff. I don't know why she kept going, though. She could have stopped at some point. I don't know why she kept going. Some of this stuff too far. She could have stopped and just chilled and did whatever for a little while, you know? No, I don't even know. So, but I do understand how to study believing in him, though. If she wanted to keep believing in him, myself, I could see her study believing in him. I could see that, you know, especially if she really liked him. So she tried to make what he was saying true and real. So I can understand that. You know what? I'm gonna get down a few more minutes, and then we're gonna see when she'll honor us with her presence again.
And he said,
but she already know this part, so let me
your offer.
This part.
The offer was an all cash, full asking price offer.
All over again.
$700,000. Let that sink in for a moment. He said the sellers love the offer. They're asking that you show proof of funds so that they can accept the offer. My ex-husband said, I will show proof of funds when they accept the offer. The seller said, great, we'll accept the offer when you show proof of funds. So basically we got into a standoff. And if you're a real estate agent or you work in real estate, I would love to know your thoughts on this. I had asked people in my personal life, like, have you ever heard of this before? And I've had plenty of people who said I would not show my bank statements until they accepted the offer. And then I had other people who were like, I wouldn't accept an all cash offer unless I verified that the person can pay.
Of course.
So I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Okay. So our real estate agent called us and was like, guys, you know, the sellers are giving you 2 days to show.
Especially that much for a house.
I had a letter that he showed me from Chase. I sent that to Scott. but that was for a mortgage. The offer was for all cash. So he needed to show proof of funds that he had the cash to pay $700,000. He didn't show it. He refused to budge on showing them proof of funds until they accepted the offer, because he was afraid that they were going to create a bidding war. So what ended up happening was Scott called us and said, I apologize because I didn't do my due diligence as a realtor. He said, before I ever started showing you guys a house, I should have collected your pre-approval letter and proof of funds. He said, so at this point, my broker has informed me that I cannot show you guys another house until you show at least us, meaning the real estate firm, until you show us proof of funds. And so I'm just like, well, I'm telling my ex-husband, just show them the fucking proof of funds. Like, what's the problem? And so it was a lot of, I find that this is really unprofessional, because it's not our fault that you didn't do your job correctly. It got a little ugly and it got uncomfortable, because I'm like, I don't understand why you don't show them proof of funds when you clearly just signed a document stating that you're putting an offer in at full asking price. This was the same thing the realtor was saying. He was like, but you just signed an offer. So what's the problem? Like, you want them to accept the offer and then you'll show everyone the proof of funds? And my ex-husband, without missing a beat, said yes. So Scott did his best to work with the seller and say, look, accept the offer. He'll open the books. He'll show you the proof of funds. These sellers were like, no, that's not. And it wasn't so much the sellers. It was the seller's agent. Big respect to the seller's agent. But the seller's agent was like, no, that's not how we're doing business. He needs to show those proof of funds before I advise my clients to accept his offer, period. If he's not willing to do it,
they know better.
Offer, because
they know better. They don't walk into a liar before.
It was less than asking price, but they were willing to accept that offer over the all cash offer, because those people had basically shown proof. So subsequently, the house fell through. We passed the 2-day deadline. They went with the other offer. Also, at this point, our real estate agent, Scott, and I do not blame him for this, pretty much cut all ties, because what he, I believe, felt like was, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. And this is not how I do business. So until you guys are ready to show the proof of funds needed to buy a house, you need to get yourself another agent, because we were already about 20 to 25 houses deep by this point. We had already put in 2 other offers. They fell through. And now here we are with this house. And once again, it fell through. Okay, so good news and bad news. Number one, this is part 14 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Bad news, this is going to be the last post for the night. And the reason why, good news, tomorrow's my birthday. So I'm just going to make this video, post it, and then I will pick back up probably Friday, because honestly, I truly want to enjoy my birthday tomorrow. I just want to enjoy my birthday. All right, so y'all don't be upset. Just, if anything, watch parts 1 through 14, then we'll be ready for part 15. So the house fell through in October 2020. And what I told him was, I said, I don't want to look at another house. I don't want to talk about cars. I want to get through the holidays, because it was going to be a holiday season where I could not celebrate my family because of COVID. So I said, I just want to get through the holidays. I want to get through the end of the year, and we'll revisit stuff in January. I was very calm when I said it. No argument, nothing like that. And he said he understood. A lot of what fueled me staying in the situation really was the fact that, number one, I didn't want to be alone. Number two, I didn't want to look stupid by having the relationship end so quickly for everyone to be like, we told you something was up. And number three, I was ready to get married. And that, ready to get married, fueled a lot of stuff. And again, I was still making my audio diaries. So listening back to it, I knew something was wrong. I admit that. I knew something was wrong. But what I thought it was, truthfully, was like, why does it seem like there's always something? Like, why can't we just go ahead and get the house? Why is it always something? Why can't I just get the BMW? It still didn't dawn on me how deep this something went. And for the people who keep asking, I'm going in order of events. So yes, there will be a video where I explain how everything came out and what came out, what was true, what was not true. It's coming. I'm just getting all of this out in order. So I told him I didn't want to look at a house no more. I want to talk about houses. Do not mention the word Zillow. Do not mention the word realtor. Nothing. Let me just get through the holidays. And for myself, the question was, what do you want to do? You want to stay with him, or do you want to cut your losses? And the part that kept me constantly second guessing myself was, what if he's not lying? What if he's not lying? There's no, literally the conversation I had with myself was, there's no way he is lying about having money. You saw the paper from Chase. They don't just approve $750,000 for a mortgage for anybody. I've seen his checking account. You see how much money's in his available checking. Like I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's lying about that. But what is it? Is it that he doesn't trust me? Like, I second guess myself so much. Is it that he doesn't trust me? Is it that maybe he doesn't really want to get married? Like, what is it? Because I know what I saw. I know what I heard. I know that he's having conversations about move the money from this account to that account. I know he's paying my car note and all these bills. Like, clearly this man is making money. I know that I saw the letter from HR that states his new salary is 200 and something thousand. And I remember thinking, like, God, what am I missing? I'm missing something, but what is it? Because I know what I've seen. I know what I have touched. I have physically touched these papers. Like, I know how to read. So what is it that I am missing? He's close to his family. He talks to them all the time. You know, he's just a regular guy that just likes to watch NFL football. He leaves me alone when I want to watch Georgia football. You know, he's paying bills, groceries. I haven't had to worry financially since I've met him. And as a woman who had lived on her own, paying her own bills, my God, that is the most intoxicating feeling when you meet a guy who just takes your stress and your worry away financially. But the downside is he took away the stress and the worry financially away and instead brought a mental fuck job I've never in my life had experienced. And I could not put my finger on it. I couldn't really talk to anybody about it because I'm a big believer in what happens at home stays at home. So I didn't talk to my girlfriends about it. I didn't talk to my family about it. But I just remember being like, what am I missing?
People got granny.
What am I missing? So we did not talk about houses. We did not look at cars, any of that for November, December. And he came to me like around Thanksgiving, and what I thought was a very open, loving conversation. And in that conversation, he was like, okay, I know I have fucked up. I know that things are not feeling too strong right now. He was like, I want us to get married. I want a home. I will show you whatever you need to see to put you at ease. He was very like contrite. He was very just like, what do I need to do to put your mind at ease so that you know I'm in this and that I want this and that I love you and I want you to be my wife. So I was like, show me your accounts. He showed me his checking. He showed me one of his savings. He showed me a Chase savings. He did not show me the offshore. And he did not show me the US Bank. So he showed me those two accounts, checking and Chase savings. So I knew that there was money. What I saw in those accounts, there was money. I told him, I was like, if we're going to buy a house, I want it to be through the mortgage on Chase. I don't want to deal with this proof of funds shit no more. I said, I do not want to look at another house until the beginning of the new year. He said, okay. That is when we then had a conversation. So I guess I lied because we are going to have a part 15 or 16 tonight. But that is when we then had the discussion about marriage. And that is where religion came into play. Yeah, I'll give y'all the other part tonight. Stand by. Okay, part 15. Who the fuck did I marry? So in December of 2020, around beginning of December, we had a conversation, kind of a
now this one is lower.
Heart conversation.
I can't hear it that good.
And both of us had grown up in the church, and the fact that we were not married but living together, the fact that almost had a baby together, bothered both of us. Both of our families, my family and his family, were very adamant. Like, okay, y'all either need to get married or y'all need to separate. And so I'm walking around with a ring on, which I'll post a picture of the ring because, God, there's so much to unpack. But anyway, walking around with the ring. And so he said to me, whatever I need to do my part to make this work, I'm willing to do. At the same time, it wasn't that I did not trust him as much as it was I felt like I wasn't trusting myself. Because, again, like I said in the previous video, I know what I saw. I know what I read. I know what I've heard. Something was not sitting right with me. And every time I would question it in my head, the other side of me was like, okay, you know he ain't lying about the money because you saw it. So you know he ain't lying. Girl, are you that? Like, I remember saying to myself, are you that jaded that you don't even know what it's like to have a decent man? Yes, I really have.
Oh, shit. She didn't twig.
So,
Shell, where you go? Wait a minute, she had me choke on them. What? We're gonna have to roll that one back. I'm gonna have to roll that one back. One more again for me.
Saw it. So you know he ain't lying. Girl, are you that like I remember saying to myself, are you that jaded that you don't even know what it's like to have a decent man? Yes, I really had the audacity to have that thought. So we agreed at the beginning of December, like we wanted to be together. I believe I loved him. I believe he loved me. So the decision was made that we were going to get married. It's still COVID, so we had to follow certain protocol. So we filed our marriage license in Fayette County, Georgia, because you could not get an appointment in Clayton County to save your life. So we filed the marriage license in Fayette County. On our marriage license, it asked the number of previous marriages. He said 1, I have 0. It asked for our social security numbers. He put his social security number down. I put my social security number down. I mentally wrote down his social security number, and I did a background check. I did a background check after I had filed a marriage license. Yes, I know, but I did. The background check, nothing came back. It was like no results found. I did a criminal background check, nothing came back. So I thought one of two things: either I had the wrong social, meaning I wrote down the wrong social, or my paranoia was unfounded. There's nothing wrong with him because he has been always throughout the relationship a big stickler about law enforcement, following the law, because his dad was a retired police officer. So this is someone who has been this is a guy who would check to make sure my tail lights were working, make sure my signals were working, make sure my oil was good, make sure I had enough gas in the car. So when the criminal history came back with no results, I was like, well, of course there isn't, because the man probably hasn't had so much as a speeding ticket. So we filed the marriage license, and then we made an appointment to get married, and waiting for the judge to come out of chambers so that she could marry us. And the reason why I'm pausing is because, my God, if I could go back and see that young woman sitting in that lobby. Wow. I know we can't go back in time, but damn, if I could go back in time, I would. I didn't tell anyone I was getting married because I was afraid. I tried before.
This bitch had a year.
Something came up.
Bitch
So
tried.
I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to get anyone hopes up. I didn't want to get my hopes up. I know that's bad, but again, said I would be honest even if it's ugly. I told my mom, my family that we got married, told my friends, they could not believe it. Like my mother was relieved, but she had no idea about what was going on. My aunt was more like, really? You married him? My friend, the one who took me to the hospital for the miscarriage, was like, I wish you would have told me, like, you deserve to have people there, take pictures and celebrate and all this other stuff. And she was like, you know, she's the type of friend, if you like it, I love it. You rock with him, I rock with him. The moment you don't, I don't either. So she was supportive. My other girlfriends were happy for me. They just hated that I had to get married during COVID. Because they were like, we would have loved to have, you know, thrown you a bridal shower and a bachelorette party and all of that. It just sucks that you couldn't experience that. So we got married on a Tuesday. On the way home, stopped and got some wings, went home, and I had to get ready to go to work the next day. And life. I got married January 5th. By January 31st, trouble. I still didn't know how deep, but I knew I was in trouble. So to give you all a very, very, very candid idea, got married January 5th. The normal things that married newlyweds do when we got married completely stopped. And that was not by me. You always hear men talk about, man, now that we're married, she don't. In my case, it was the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite. So anyway, because this is not a forum to be all R-rated or whatnot, but y'all get what I'm saying. So we got married.
Right. What part did you want me to go back to? How far back you need me to go? You might have to come up here because I don't know how far back you need me to go. But you missed. I just dropped the link in the chat for you if you want to hit the link and come back up here. Come up here.
Am I in the building?
Okay, what you want? You in the building?
I'm in the building.
Yeah.
What's going on? Good show so far.
What's going on? How you like my show so far?
Yeah, it's cool. I had a bunch of LOL moments.
So you said you want me to go back. What you need me to go back to?
Huh?
I could go back. I could go. You said in the chat. Did you want me to go back?
No, I didn't say go back.
Oh, I thought you said wait.
No. When you said wait, I gotta go back. I said I heard something too. I'm like, what she just say?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I was putting my earphone there. I couldn't hear it.
Okay.
So I'm here. Let's do it.
All right. I'm still waiting on Cheryl to come back.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's
this
cool.
is not a forum to be all R-rated or whatnot.
But she sent this part already.
So we got married January 5th. January 6th, I went to work. It was.
So this part, okay.
You always hear men talk about, man, now that we're married, she don't. In my case, it was the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite. So anyway, this is not a forum to be all R-rated.
He just 100% pulled the rules on her.
We got married January 5th. January 6th, I went to work. It was
completely.
A lot of people congratulated me because the kind of word got out that I had gotten married.
Yeah, he pulled the rules on her.
I thought people my last name. And if you
but what's different about her story that's not different about anybody else's story?
How I had you.
Most people don't. Well, there's a lot of people. I mean, her story matches a lot of people's story, but her story is so far at this point. He has lied about everything. Everything. They were supposed to be getting a house. He lied about that. At this point, 3 different times. He lied about cars. He's lied about she was having I don't even know how to say it on YouTube. Her body was rejecting her baby. Or God bless the high, whatever, however you want to shake that out. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it is, she had 2 lines on it one day, the next time it wasn't 2 lines. Okay. And she went through a whole bunch of drama with that shit. Right. And he told her that he was gonna have her sister take her to the hospital, right? But he don't even have no fucking sister.
So who was gonna take?
That's what I said. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm still trying to find out. But Cher was so much further past me, and she had to do something real quick. So she said she's gonna come back. She's gonna let me go ahead, and then she's gonna come back. But yeah, because she remember I was telling you about it, that the husband that came out, the actual guy that came out, he came out, his ex-wife and his ex-girlfriend, everybody that came out, and I didn't get a chance to do nothing because I don't know what the hell going on. So I'm listening to the shit, and I kind of see why it's captivating. You know what I'm saying? I do. Because it's like, what else? What it's like when you think like, what else could this nigga do to her? And then he finds something else to do to her. It's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm finding interesting.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I got this shit on 2 times. So she is talking really, really slow. So I got it going faster because that slow shit don't work for me. So I got this
I was just gonna ask you, like, why is she talking so fast?
So if that's what I was gonna say, if she's talking too fast for you, I could slow it down for you. Do you need me to slow it down?
I can hear it. No, okay. I can hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna press play. So your background don't be in here. I'm gonna put it on mute, and then when you want to talk, just unmute it.
Okay.
You know how to unmute it?
Just hit the mic, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead and mute it now, so you can just mute it yourself.
Oh, you hear my background?
Yeah. And if I play this, and this one actually happened to be very low. I just said this one was low. Yeah, you muted. I can see that. I see that it's muted. Thank you.
to change my name back to my maiden name, but I changed my name within about 3 days of getting married. My attitude was, this is the bed that I made. I'm gonna do right by him. I'm gonna do right by my marriage. I took marriage seriously, and when I married him, I absolutely married him thinking, I'm going to be with you for the next 40, 50 years. So we're going to have to figure this shit out. That was my mindset. I did not get married to turn around and be divorced in 6 months. But I got married January 5th, 2021. And by January 31st, I knew I was in serious trouble. So that is where we are. The next set of videos, the next set of all this will be me talking about how things went downhill before it crashed and I found everything out. In the meantime, tomorrow is my birthday. So, happy birthday to me. The fuck did I marry? This is the interlude, basically. I'm not recapping on this video. I'm just kind of answering some stuff that has been written to me.
She really got 50 stories of this shit?
Someone was like, why are you airing?
She did it on TikTok. So it's not like she just started and did a live and just talked. So she did it on TikTok. TikTok only lets you talk for so long. And it cut you off, I think she said like 10 minutes. So that's why so many of them, because while she's sitting there talking, she got to keep starting it.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was like, damn, when it was like 52. 52? What the hell?
Damn, it take her that long to tell the story shit?
I guess so. But to be honest, she in detail. I feel like I understand. I'm there. I feel it on some things. Some things I was like, I can decide that. But she in detail. I'm with the detail. I'm with the story.
Okay. Well,
but my thing is she paid attention to this detail and missed that other detail. I don't motherfucking know.
Motherfuckers listen to what they want to listen to sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know either.
Airing your business out on social media. It's a valid question. For me personally, I feel like this was traumatic to experience, to live through. And I'll expound on that on another video, the aftermath of the toll that this took. Honestly, and I know some people are going to be like, that sounds crazy. It is kind of cathartic to get this out because I cannot tell you how much of this has been internalized since 2020. Also, I don't want to seem like a cautionary tale to other women or to men for that matter, but to my sisters, to my ladies, white, Black, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. If something does not sit right with you, investigate it. I cannot stress that enough. If just one woman watches these videos and she's like, you know what, something don't sit right with me, let me look into this, then it was worth it. Yes, it is a Lifetime movie. Yes, it is Netflix.
What I don't understand is
crazy.
what is her?
Yes,
what's the point of her putting all her business out? What is she trying to? What is her goal? What's her end goal for telling all her business like that?
Honestly, I think it is. She is getting a chance to. She vent. She getting the shit out. It's on her chest. But the thing is, she's telling the story once. Most of the time. Go ahead.
Is it like a big vent? She's venting?
Basically, she venting and she letting out what he did to her.
Because like if she's trying to expose him, shit, he had done this before. This ain't the first time he did this, I don't think. It's come out like this.
She just met him last year and they already married.
Oh, she jumped the gun on him. That's what happened.
They already married. They'd already been pregnant. They'd already been looking for houses. All of that shit.
Yeah. Did they ever show the picture? She'll show a picture of dude?
No, but he later on comes out. He come out. The ex-wife, she talk about it. He come out. Some more people come out, and that's why I said, let me hurry up and do this one because I gotta do those.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay. You can start the video back. I'm ready.
Okay.
And I understand all of those reactions. As someone who lived it, It was traumatic. But I feel like, God, it feels good to finally admit what the fuck I went through. And again, by the time this is uploaded, I'm only to January of 2021, right after getting married. So when I think back on it, there's things that I'm very, very grateful for. There are things that I'm just like, why did you not pay attention? Why did you not question? And the sad part is, I can't even begin to tell you, I don't remember the woman I was before I met that man. I don't remember. Because going through something like that, it changes you. And I've seen some women in the comments who are like, I was married to a habitual liar. I was married to a pathological liar. My baby daddy's a pathological liar. And my heart goes out to them, because until you have dealt with someone so depraved, you
have no fucking
you really
clue.
don't quite know how bad it can get. So I'm fully aware that this was a risk, putting this out on social media, telling my story, my truth, and really kind of being like, look, this is what I went through. I made dumb decisions. I overlooked things I should not have overlooked. I argued away things I should not have argued away. I can pinpoint exactly the moment I should have left. I still feel like God is sitting on the throne and he's like, I never planned for your monkey ass to marry him. I never even planned for you to go out and date with him. That's why I blew your tire. But you hard-headed and you went anyway. And then I tried to go ahead and show you signs. You ignored them. Like, I feel like God did everything to help me as his child. Be like, this is not who I created to be your helpmate. And I was like, God, you taking too long. I want to get married. You taking too long. I want to have a family. You taking too long. And these are the consequences that I'm paying for basically telling God, you took too long.
Yeah.
And,
Well, she said she took too long, or she said he said she took too long.
She said that God showed her that he wasn't for her. But she basically was still, she wanted to get married and have some kids, so she was rushing. So she was basically saying that she was basically saying to God that he took too long, and this is what she get for not waiting.
Okay.
Who he sent was supposed to come right behind him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, you can go back.
But at the same time, and I'm not perfect. I mean, not perfect at all. None of us are. But I do feel like when I sit back and I replay the events that happened, I truly cannot believe that was my story. Because all I wanted was to meet a guy, for him to be my best friend, for us to get married, have a family. I wanted someone I could make fun of his big forehead, and he make fun of my nappy head and all my wigs, and yet he was my ride or die. I wanted someone that I could be like, man, help me with these kids, and he helped me with the kids. We had a nice home. We were comfortable. That is what I wanted. And I've said this before,
Sorry, boo, that shit don't
and I say it again. I truly hoped it was my turn. You see the women who are, so happy, and they're in these loving marriages and life just looks good. I really, really wanted it to be my turn. And so I excused away a lot of stuff that I hope the next woman who sees this does not excuse, because I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish this on anyone, to feel the way I felt the moment I discovered the whole truth. So I just wanted to say that, because I think it's important to try to answer the why is she posting this? Honestly, I was tired of holding it in. And I hope it helps somebody. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Let's all get some sleep. If you don't have anything to do and you just want to wish me happy birthday, wish me happy birthday tomorrow, February 15th. Shout out to Team Aquarius. Good night, y'all. Part 17. Who the fuck did I marry? So, for context, and just to clarify some stuff, going forward, I'm going to now call my ex-husband, I'm going to use the name that I call him in real life. So that way it clears up the whole fiance, boyfriend, husband, ex-husband thing. So, his name is Legion. Anyone that knows me will tell you that is what I call him. So, Legion and I, when I left off at part 16, part 15, Legion and I got married January 5th of 2021. For the first 2 weeks, were fine. We got into like a routine, basically. I would go to work, he would go to work. He was still leaving the house at around 6:15 every morning. He was still on the phone with his brother, the one that lived in Philly. Every morning, they would that was their time to talk. From what I was told, the brother got off work. I guess he must have worked the third shift. And so he was getting off work as Legion was getting ready to go to work. That was the perfect time for them to talk. He would talk to his brother in Baltimore and the brother in Augusta, pretty much, just a quick phone call here and there, if not every day, every other day. So everything was pretty much the same. I would talk to my mom almost every day. I would talk to my aunt almost every day. So it was nothing to kind of, that's weird. That's what the morning routine was. He would talk. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. And I said this in a previous video, but again, there were things I said in previous videos that I remember saying, hey, remember that because it's going to come back later. So I worked at Georgia State Patrol. I had been working there for almost 8 years, 7 or 8 years by the time Legion got into the picture. He was fine with the fact that I worked within law enforcement. I'm not a trooper. I'm not a sworn officer. I'm a civilian. However, he, again, his dad was a retired police officer. So he was perfectly fine in the beginning with the fact that I worked for Georgia State Patrol. He had been to my office before. He had met some of my co-workers, obviously, even with COVID, because I still had to go into the office 2 or 3 days a week. He had been up there. So the friend who took me to the hospital when I had my miscarriage has met him. He and I have been to her home with her and her significant other before. So again, even in the world of COVID, when there were little times where you could get together with people, he has met people in my life. He has met my friend, or that particular friend, and he has met some of my coworkers. So when we got married, the first 2 weeks, like I said, was fine. And then it's as if something snapped. Something just changed. What was totally acceptable before, suddenly little comments were made. Why are you wearing that to work? You get off at 3:30, so you'll be home by 5, right? Things that had never happened before. He had never questioned what time I'm be home. Really, he didn't need to question it because when I'm off work, I leave. So it was never a situation of, oh, I'm just sitting around at work and just run my mouth because I have nothing to do. And then it turned into, he would call me every day from work. And I'm going to demonstrate how those phone calls went. But he would call me every day from work. And if he even so much as heard a male voice in the background, he would have little comments to me. Who's that? Are they in your office? Man, I never know who's around you, because it seemed like every time I call you, I have a hiccup, sorry. It seems like every time I call you, there's some man around. And I'm just like, at first I kind of shrugged it off. I laughed it off because it really, truly was absurd to me. But then it became a bit more frequent. And so I really just didn't feed into it because I'm like, I don't know if this is some insecurity. I don't know if this is jealousy, because nothing has ever been done to make you feel any sort of insecure type of way. I've never entertained another guy, never flirted with another guy. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So it is also important to note, we got married January 5th. Things started changing around 2 weeks later. And the reason why I know it's 2 weeks is because I had recorded an audio diary on January 21st is the date of the audio diary. And I talk about how maybe I had unrealistic expectations.
Yay, she came back. She came back to bless us with her presence. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay! Okay. So far, okay, Larry Legend on here too. So far, I just hit to 17, and she at work, and he asking her if guys who's behind her, who's talking to her at work.
Okay.
Because it seemed as if things were changing with he and I. So 2 weeks pass, he starts making little comments. End of January comes, he informs me that he wants to start looking for a house again. I had no real desire to go through that process. So what he decides is that he's going to look for a house for us using his friend, the realtor, the one I did not meet. So he tells me that he and his friend have been talking, and he's going to start looking at houses. And what he's going to do is basically, if he feels like it's a house I would like, then he wants to show it to me, because he feels like, I know that your attitude really isn't, you're in the mood to look for a house. So I'm going to start looking. And then if I think it's a great house, then, you can come see it. And I remember thinking, that's not going to work. You're not going to choose a house without me.
No.
He was like, no, I'm not going to choose a house, but I just think that, me and old boy have been talking. And so he has some houses that he is representing. He wants to show me. So why don't you let me look at it? And it's worth the time. Then I'll bring you to look at it. So he already had some sort of plan in place after talking to his friend about how he's going to start looking at houses. This is the end of January 2021. So I kind of threw my hands in the air and was just like, whatever, because I'm not getting emotionally involved in looking at houses. And for me, that's kind of what it was. I felt like I would see a house, I could picture us living there, and then it gets snatched away somehow, some way. I didn't want to go through that.
Yeah.
So the reaction that he wanted, which was for me to throw a fit, I did not do. I was just like, okay, all right, like I trust you. And remember that I said the reaction he wanted, because that's going to come back later. So he started looking at houses. Funny enough, the houses that he looked at, none of them I actually saw. But he would call me and say, I'm at this house in Sandy Springs with the realtor friend. Apparently his realtor friend's name was Scott, not to be confused with the other Scott, the one that was actually helping us, that dropped us as clients. I want to make that clear. There were two Scotts. One is the realtor who was representing us,
just getting ready to
who said,
post it
hey,
in
I need
Nashville.
proof of funds. If you don't have those proof of funds, I cannot show you any more houses. The other Scott is his friend, who he had talked to on the phone at least 50 to 100 times in front of me. That's the Scott that he said is going to show me this house in Sandy Springs. Apparently the house was like $800,000. So he was like, I think that if I like the house, then I'm gonna bring you out here so you can see it. All right, now let's go into part 18. Okay, part 18, who the fuck did I marry? So he starts looking at houses in Sandy Springs, Alpharetta area with his friend Scott. I did not see any of these houses. I did not go. I didn't want to go. So what was starting to change is, remember I said before, he would leave the house every day at around 6:15. He would be home every day between 3:30 and 4 o'clock without fail. It was so, I shouldn't say it was annoying, but I could set my clock by the fact that I would hear that garage door open between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every day that he went to work. Even during lockdown, he still had to go to work. His job was only locked down for maybe a week. For me, I was allowed to work from home, but unfortunately, I did not handle it well. And so I would fall asleep and not check email. So my boss was like, yeah, you're going to have to come back to the office because you're not trustworthy. And I wasn't. I mean, I would watch Netflix and not even be on my computer. So I had to start going back to work every day, 5 days a week. And I was, me and another lady were the only two in there because we were the only two who did not handle work from home properly. Anyway, that's another story. So Legion would, by 4 o'clock, he started to come home 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock, because he was saying that he was looking at houses after work with his friend Scott. So it definitely was noticed that things are changing. And I just, at this point, kind of emotionally,
tell me
I was
now.
just like,
tell me now, is he gay? Is he fucking Scott, or is Scott a woman? Tell me now.
That is never said. It is never even said that there's a real second Scott.
Oh, okay. So we don't even know that there is. He even.
Nope.
Okay. All right. That's. Tell me something.
I'm still trying to understand it. I don't really understand it that much.
this is the end of January. Remember, I told you in part 15, I got married January 5th. By January 31st,
He's a liar. He's lying about everything.
And by the end of January, sure enough, I knew things were changing in a way that I was like,
here's all you're doing.
I hate to sound redundant, but what the fuck is going on? So he's still maintaining the story of looking for a house. I had already let him know my lease is
She
up
gonna
in
fuck
August.
around and fuck the next nigga up.
I am moving to Pop County. And my attitude was kind of like, you can go with me or you can stay here. I don't care, but I'm moving. I'm leaving Clayton County. The reason why,
if you playing that, she probably is. If she fuck with somebody else, she probably done now.
Yeah, she said she done. At least she done until she heal.
Yeah, that comment is scaring me.
Yeah. Huh?
That calmness is scaring me. She too damn calm.
Yeah, it's over now. That's why she's telling us, because it's over and she's trying to breed and she's trying to have anybody.
Oh, it's not fresh.
Like what?
It's not fresh.
No, yeah,
I thought this just
now. This just happened.
Okay.
She just finished it. We still at the beginning of the story.
Okay.
We on 7, no, we 18. She go to 50 something. We're not gonna finish that tonight, I don't think.
Damn, you said you on what? And she got how many?
Excuse me, I'm on 18 and she got 50 something, I think.
She got 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Damn. She got a lot to say. Shit.
He did a lot of bullshit.
It was
That
rude to
shit
this
crazy.
shit. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I was so adamant to move. It was not because of Clayton County. It was not because of the house that I was in. It was because Legion had started to create this narrative that he was beefing with a female neighbor. He was trying to get me to believe that my female neighbor to the left of me somehow was interested in him. And so she would make these little comments, and he would come in the house complaining about her and her music and the fact that she had, different men over to the house. It was driving me crazy. And all of this was kind of starting in January. So when I say that, it really seems like we got married January 5th, and then we had 2 weeks of peace, and then something just snapped. I literally mean something just snapped. So he's looking at houses. Now we're moving into February. February obviously is my birthday month. He did good. He did good to make Valentine. He went all out for Valentine's Day. He went all out for my birthday. My birthday and Valentine's Day are February 14th and February 15th. So he went all out on both days. Y'all ain't even gonna believe this story. I said I would share even when it makes me look bad. So the weekend after my birthday, and what I mean by that, he gave me money to go to the nail salon, go get a manicure and pedicure. So I leave the house. I take his car. His car was in the driveway. We had a key to each other's car because, again, we're married at this point. We're talking February 2021. So I take his car and I drive to the nail salon over in Morrow. I'm in the chair getting a pedicure and I get a text message from my husband saying, someone was just at the house looking for you.
What?
And I'm like, who was looking for me? Who was it? And he said, I don't know. I think it was some, this is through text. I don't know. I think it was some dude you used to mess with.
No.
Okay.
Wait, I don't believe that.
He was like,
I don't believe that.
Some guy just came to the house looking for you.
I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe that? There is no fucking way a nigga gonna go to another nigga house and that nigga gonna text you. He not gonna be like, bitch, who the fuck? Yeah. There's no fucking way he can waste his time. Yeah. Oh yeah, your ex stopped by to say hi. Hell no, I don't give a fuck where you work at. I don't give a fuck where you work at. That nigga on your everything up. That's way too common. Okay, you man, you tell us. If somebody show up and is like, oh yeah, whatever the fuck else, are you texting the girl?
No.
Is she getting a call or is she getting a text?
I think it was a text.
That's what I'm saying. Right. She's saying if she got a text. Whatever else, I don't believe that she got that with his story, because a man nigga is not gonna, he's not gonna text her. He gotta call her.
Right. He's not gonna tell you about the next nigga coming to see you. It's gonna be a fight.
Right there, he gonna call her ass right there with that nigga standing right there. He not gonna let that nigga leave, none of that shit. He gotta be on voice and video so he can show all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that shit. Oh yeah, your boyfriend stopped by.
Shit.
If that motherfucker that
surprised he ain't come up to a fucking job.
If that nigga that time be ready to get stabbed when you get to the crib, you're talking about, oh yeah, your boyfriend stopped by to tell you happy birthday.
Shit, probably surprised he didn't meet her at the damn nail shop.
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe it.
I told him.
Oh no, some of this stuff is trying to sound a little cap to me.
I don't know.
A little bit, because it's like, man, women are too damn fast with intuition. She ain't got no intuition if she got 50 goddamn episodes.
Especially for a year worth.
What? I mean, like shit. I mean, oh no. All I'm gonna say is boo boo shit.
We finna say, let's see what you finna say now.
The chair at the salon, I'm freaking out because I'm like, who the fuck has the audacity to come to my home unannounced, uninvited, talking about they're looking for me? Especially because before I met my husband, I was working the last shift at Amazon.
Wait. Right. I remember now. He moved in her house, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So somebody could say, yeah. Somebody could have stopped back because that was already her crib. It's only
Yep.
been a year. Probably who she fucked last year. Who she fucked last year for her birthday. He came in up again. Hey. Woo.
That is so funny. Oh my.
Hey, yeah, I'm
Was
gonna have to
on
drop down for a
top
minute.
jobs.
I'm finna go in this train tunnel.
With, dated anything,
Okay.
anyone for about a year.
I'm
Before
gonna
I
still
met
be
him
listening, but
in
I'm gonna
March
have to drop down. I
I
can't really
really was
hear.
like, who
I'll be back.
the
Okay.
hell is this coming to my house?
All right. Okay. So you still here?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
So I finished the pedicure. I head home. Once I get home, I'm like, what are you talking about? What happened? And so I'm frazzled in a way. And he's calm. He was
You get the
like,
shit
yeah,
who
it
it
was a
was for
black
real.
Dodge Charger. They pulled into the driveway. They backed in. They backed in as if they had been here before. So clearly this was someone who's been to your house. He got out of the car. He said, I opened the door and I went out there and I said, is there something I can help you with? And he said, the guy said, I'm looking for, and gave him my name. And he said, I'm sorry, she's not here. And he was like, oh, okay. All right then. And just got in the car and drove off. And I was like, my brain stopped working because I'm thinking, who the heck could this be? A Dodge Charger? I was like, are you sure that it wasn't law enforcement? Like, was it the sheriff's office trying to serve me with a lawsuit for a credit card I didn't pay? He was like, no, he was in regular clothes. He was like, and it was not a police car. It was on a marked unit, basically. And so I'm just like, who the heck could this be? And he was like, I know who it was. And I said, who? He was like, I think it was your ex. I said, what ex? He was like, the one that you had dated for 2 years. Remember back in like part 3, part 4, I told y'all, he told me about his ex. I told him about mine. I thought we were being honest with each other. So now, fast forward to February 2021, and he's telling me, yeah, I think it was the ex that you had been dealing with for those 2 years before you met me. I said, so you think that he showed up to the house uninvited after 2 years?
My phone.
And he was like, well, whoever it was clearly was comfortable backing into our drive, getting out the car, and was like, I'm here to see, and gave him my name. And so he was like, she's not here. Is there something I can help you with? And the guy was like, no, it's cool. And then just got in the car and drove off. So again, brain is like, who could this be? So then Legion says to me, you know what? The way that you reacting to this is real suspect. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you over here freaking out. I told you I took care of it. I told you it was fine. And you over here freaking out, which makes me wonder, what have you been up to? Now, let's go to part 19. Okay, part 18, who the fuck did I marry? So he says to me, the way you're acting is real suspect because I told you. He was like, I ain't even worried about it. He was like, obviously, that nigga didn't know that you now married, that you've moved on. And so now he knows it. But for me, it was the fact that I don't do pop-ups. Don't come to my house unannounced. So if someone has done that, for me, it automatically feels like a violation and it feels like it needs to be addressed. So it was not as simple as, I already took care of it. It's fine. Let it go. No, we ain't letting nothing go because you don't have my permission to show up to my house. Right. And before this turns into something where I'm going to be on Fox 5 News, I need to address that with you because that is not okay. So he didn't like the reaction I had to the story he told me where someone basically disrespected my home. And he felt like my reaction was really suspect. So what I'm going to get into the little details that he did not know about. So he tells me, again, it was a black Dodge Charger. They backed into the driveway. A gentleman got out of the car and he asked for me by name. And Legion said, she's not here. So I asked him, what does the guy look like? And he was like, why does it matter? I said, what the fuck does he look like? So Legion proceeds to give me the most generic description you can give. He was like, well, he was shorter than me. Ex-husband is about 6'3", 6'4". He was shorter than me. He was brown skin. I said, did he have a hat on his head? Mind you, I understand that before marriage, I was a damn fool. I understand that. But every woman has that moment where you only gonna fool her but for so long. And eventually puzzles start coming together. For me, I felt like moving into marriage, certain things started coming together. So I said to him, did he have a hat on his head? He was like, no, he didn't wear a hat. So in my mind, I am mentally going down a list of every possible man it could be. And it was only like 4 men. I had been in that house about 3 or 4 years at this point. So I knew all of the people, and I'm talking about from maintenance down to ex-boyfriends. It was a total of like 4 men. So when he said that it was a black Charger, I immediately was like, okay, I know that crosses out one. He said he was shorter than him. All of them were shorter than him. I said, did he have a hat on his head? He said, no, that crossed out one, because one in particular was a maintenance guy who always wore a hat on his head because he had like a bruise or something, and he was just self-conscious about it. So he always wore a hat, at least two. So I said, was he muscular or was he skinny? So Legion's getting all
For
frustrated.
some reason, I can't hear her
He's like, well, he was kind of in
anymore.
between. And I said, okay.
You can't hear?
He was in between. I said, so was he light skinned or was he dark skinned? He was like, I told you he was
Like,
brown
play that
skin.
some
I
more.
said, was he my complexion? He said, no, he was,
You know,
he was
I
brown
put the,
skin.
I
That
did,
so now there's one left.
had to plug up
And
my
yes, the one
computer.
left would have been the ex that I had dated for 2 years. And so he was like, I know it was your ex. I know it was your ex. And I was like, that don't make no sense, because
You
the
can't hear
ex
it
that
at all,
in my mind, I'm saying is the
or just
Not
low?
really. It sounds like she whispering. Like I can't make out the words.
Okay.
ex that I had dated. He and I had no contact with each other. The ex that I
Because you know how the computer be doing extra shit when the battery be low. Cutting
Yeah,
off shit.
I do. If you want, we can do it tomorrow. If you want.
Okay, we could switch. We can. But I'm trying to hurry up and finish this. So if you want to get off, fine. But I want to do it with you if you want to get off. But I'm still gonna finish this damn video. I think I got like a little bit. I do want to get off here though with it, because it's like fucking with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
So
it. I get it. But yeah, I know you probably ain't gonna finish it tonight all the way. So we
right,
can, whatever's not finished, since I finished it, we can just tag in there.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming up here, hanging out with me, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. That was great. I'm so happy. Bye. Let me get just a little bit more of this down real quick.
that I, in my mind, I'm saying is the ex that I had dated. He and I had no contact with each other, and he was not the type to just pop up at your house. That ain't his style. Not to mention, and I ain't tell Legion this, that man would not be caught dead driving a Dodge Charger. He hated Chargers because he drove it as a patrol car. So I didn't say anything. I just was like, that's weird. So what Legion didn't know is that at the time I had a security system. So I had a security system where anytime the front door, the garage door, or the back door was open, basically any entry point, anytime it was open or closed, it would send me a text message notification. So when he's telling me all this, I'm looking at my phone and I see a notification where the front door was opened and it was shut all within the same minute. So for example, if it says front door open at 1 p.m., front door closed at 1 p.m. So whatever he did was within those 60 seconds. He's telling me the story of the guy got out the car. He opened the door. He went out there. Can I help you? And the guy said, I'm looking for, and Legion said, no, she's not here. And so he said the guy kind of was like, okay. And he was like, all right, thank you. And got in the car and drove off. Legion has also told me that he watched him drive out of the neighborhood, which means because of the way the house was set up, the townhouse, he would have still been outside watching this. I could be wrong. But something in me was like, that would take more than 60 seconds. So for the door to have been open and shut within the same 60 seconds, I was like, okay. So also what he didn't know, we didn't have a Ring door camera, but my neighbor did. And her Ring door camera caught my driveway. The view of the camera could see my driveway as well as her driveway. And so whoever was coming in the door, our driveways were right next to each other. And then on the other side of it was the grass. So it was a perfect view of my driveway. So she, I text her and I said, hey, were you home? I think I texted her the next day because I said, were you home on Saturday? And she said, no, I wasn't. What's up? Everything good? And I said, can you look at your security system and see if there was a car that came to my house at such and such time? And I know I did not tell her the reason I was asking, but I was like, is there any way that your security camera caught if someone came to my house at this time on Saturday? She's like, yeah, sure, I'll look. And so maybe about a couple of hours later, she texted me back and said, hey, I looked at the camera, but I didn't see anything. And I said, okay, by any chance, did it catch if someone maybe walked up the driveway? Like maybe it wasn't a car in the driveway, someone walked up. She said, I didn't see anything with your driveway yesterday. So I said, okay. And I knew that something in me, again, was like, nobody came to the house. So now here we are, a month and a half married. And now is when I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up? Because no one came to the house. No black Charger came to the house, pulled back into the driveway. Nobody got out the car and asked for me. Nobody was looking for me. So now I was sitting in bedroom thinking through all this, and I'm like, why the fuck did he make that up? Because that's what happened. I'm looking at the text messages on my phone where he's telling me someone just came to the house looking for you, but no one came. So what was the purpose of that? And then something said to me, something in me said, he wanted to see your reaction. He just wanted to see the reaction. You had been too calm, and so he wanted to see a reaction. So this man gaslit me like I was Georgia Natural Gas just to get a reaction. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
All right, part 20 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So after the black Dodge Charger incident, things were quiet. Legion was fine. Legion slept just fine. Me, that shit played over in my head for days and days and days. On one hand, I was like, I know nobody came. My head knew nobody came to the house. My heart was like, but maybe he didn't make it up. So the head and the heart were absolutely playing a tug of war because, again, I really couldn't fathom that he was making it up. But nevertheless, I filed it in the back of my mind in my little filing cabinet, my mental filing cabinet. So a few weeks later, we go out to eat at this restaurant in Atlanta. It's a burger place, and I'm going to do my best by the time I post this to put the name of the burger place on the screen. So we go to the burger place, eat dinner, everything was fine. As we are leaving, he says to me, did I ever show you where my grandmother's buried? This is the grandmother that passed away from COVID in 2020. And I said, no. I was like, we haven't been over here. And so he was like, let me show you. So he drives us to the cemetery, which is not far from the restaurant. He drives us to the cemetery, goes around and around, and then it comes to like a little hill in the cemetery. And he was like, you see the headstone. The headstone had like the family name on it. And it did not have, for example, John David Doe. It just had Doe. Okay. So there were no dates on it. So it reminded me of just a headstone where it was probably multiple family members buried underneath it. That's what it reminded me of. And so he was like, my grandfather and my grandmother are buried there. I do recall him telling me when the grandmother died in 2020 that she wanted to be buried next to his grandfather. And so we're sitting in the car because we can see the headstone like on top of the hill from the car. And he tells me that is where his grandmother and grandfather are buried, that the family was able to get her, her wishes were to be buried next to the grandfather. Okay. So as we are leaving, we take a different route home. So we get on the highway. If you're from Atlanta, you'll know what I'm talking about. We get on I-75 North. And we're just driving around, to be honest with you. But we're taking a scenic route. We get on I-75 North because the reason why I remember is because when you're on I-75 North going towards Atlantic Station, on the right-hand side, you will see the Varsity. You'll see all tall skyscraper buildings. One of the buildings has the letters NCR on the building. As we're coming up towards the building, he says to me, do you see the NCR building? I said, yeah. He said, the building behind it, my job bought that building. That's where we're going to have, we're setting up operations. And I was like, why the hell would y'all buy a condiment company in downtown Atlanta? And he was like, no, we're not doing production there. It's just going to be offices. And that's where we're going to handle like the business portion. The production is still done in Gwinnett County out in Duluth. And so I was like, oh, okay. He was like, that's where I keep the company car. So I was like, the company car? I said, aren't you supposed to be bringing the company car home? And he was like, I don't want to bring the company car home because it's Clayton County and it's a $90,000 car. And I don't want no problems. So he's telling me that he keeps the company car at the building downtown Atlanta that's behind the NCR building. I barely could see what building he's talking about, but he was like, it's the building right behind it. And so he's telling me that that's where his office is. So I said to him, take me to your office. I know it's Saturday, but shit, you wanted the VPs, right? So take me to your office. No, I had not been to his office simply because, again, COVID. So I was like, take me to your office. And he was like, I can. He was like, that's no problem. So do I have the other phone? I do. So y'all are in luck. So I can maybe reenact how this goes. So he gets off the exit and starts driving towards the NCR building. While he's driving towards the NCR building, he always has kept his phone in his left pocket. This is my left hand. So he pulls his phone out and he starts calling. He tells me he's calling Willie. Willie is supposed to be the head of security. So he's saying, let me call Willie real quick, make sure that the building's open. So he proceeds. This is in the phone, but he proceeds to go ahead and call Willie. We're still driving, by the way. We're still driving. I'm on the phone, scrolling through Facebook, trying to figure out some random shit. But he's driving with the phone up to it. So driving with the phone. Next thing I hear, hey Willie, it's Legion. Hey, how's it going? I'm good. Hey, is the building open? No, I just want to take my wife up there so she can see it and see my office. Are you up there right now? You're not? Okay, is Mr. Justin working? Okay. So is there anybody up there that can physically open the building? Because I don't think my badge is going to get me at least in the front door because it's on the weekend lock. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me know. All right. Thank you, Willie. Bye. Y'all see how I did that? He's having this whole conversation while I'm sitting in the passenger seat. So then he gets off the phone and he says to me, Willie is not working and Justin apparently called out sick. So the building is locked and my badge won't get us in the front door. He was like, Willie's going to see if there's someone else that can open the front door so we can actually get in. He's like, my badge will get us on the floor, but it will not get us in the front door. No one ever called. So when he's getting off the highway, he basically turns onto Spring Street. Again, there's all kinds of shit I distinctly remember. He turns onto Spring Street so that he can then get on 75 South so we can go home. Never saw the office that day. But again, this is where he's saying that he keeps the company car. So when we get to part 21, I'll kind of go into detail about the whole company car a little bit more. Part 21, who the fuck did I marry? So the company car apparently was a charcoal gray BMW. I believe it was a 5 Series. It was a 5 Series. I don't know much about the sedan. I know I wanted the X5 dark blue with the cognac interior. He got the BMW 5 Series charcoal gray. He sent me a picture of the car. So I did see a picture of the car. After this whole NCR building, take me to your office, that is what he's claiming, is that he leaves the company car at that location. He's saying that he drives from Riverdale to Midtown, switch out cars, and then drives from Midtown to Duluth. Those that don't know how Metro Atlanta is, basically Midtown would be in between where we live and Duluth. I only know that he left the house every day at 6:15. I know that I never physically saw the company car come to our home. Saw pictures, plural. So when he told me that he got a BMW 5 Series, keep in mind, this is after I had been promised a dark blue X5. So I was a bit salty. I don't care if it is a company car. I was a bit salty. I will admit that. Because I felt like you get to drive the car that I really want, which is a BMW. And so he would call me from the car. He would tell me, yeah, I may just drive home in this car and not switch car, switch back to his personal car. I don't know. He did that a lot. And I realize now in 2024, he did that because he knew how excited I was to actually see the car. Because shit, I wanted to test drive it myself, to be honest with you. And he knew that. So reactions. So he would say stuff like that, like, man, I'm so tired. I might just drive the company car, go ahead and go home. And then, just let me park it in a garage type thing. So eventually he stopped doing that because I didn't want to hear nothing about that car. I'm driving a Nissan, you driving a BMW after you promised me a BMW. So I don't really want to hear nothing about it. So in terms of the company car, I did see that it was according to the pictures, a charcoal gray BMW 5 Series. If you're asking me the exact model, I don't know. But I know it's a 5 Series because I know the 7 Series is slightly longer. So it's a 5 Series sedan. So after the whole situation with the his grandmother and grandfather's headstone.
Yeah, I'm back.
You back to talk to me?
Yep.
Okay. So far, did you miss any?
I mean, I'm listening to her. She sounded a little foolish, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess I got to hear the rest of it, but shit, we 21 in. Shit, she sounded a little foolish, man. I don't want to say what I want to say because I don't want to get in trouble, but she is got her boots on real hard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Without saying what I'm saying. Climbing.
But I got an idea.
Okay. Yeah, that's
what
real
I thought.
hard. Real hard. Like dog from like the 3rd episode. Shit. Damn.
Yeah, this shit crazy. And
Well,
she
Eddie Murphy say don't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know.
What? Well, Eddie Murphy say don't let them fool
Don't
you.
let him fool you.
Oh no. Shit. Shit. I'm looking for boy. Where's Boo Boo? Shit. Where's Boo Boo?
I know, right?
I don't know, man. This shit crazy, man.
Let's see it. Keep it going.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm right here.
Then there was the NCR. The office is open. Oh, it's not open. Justin ain't working. Willie ain't working. Willie's supposed to be head of security, but he ain't working. Okay. So at this point, I'm already numb. It is important for me to point out how numb I became dealing with him. Mind numbing, because I just got to a point where it was like, there's always something. There's always something. So of course we're not going to go to the office because there's going to be something. So this is the end of February. My birthday had already passed. There clearly was tension on my end, not so much tension on his end. So I get home a couple of weeks later. We are now in the beginning of March. This is something personal about me. The only way you would know this is if you know me. I have been dying to go to London and Paris. I had a layover in London when I did study abroad, but it's not the same. I want to go to London and be a whole tourist. I don't care. I want to see Buckingham Palace. I want to see the Tower of London. I want to see Paris. I want to see the Palace of Versailles. This is something, if you know me, you know she wants to see Paris. She wants to see London. So I get home from work. This is the beginning of March. I get home from work, and on the counter is a folder with like a little bow on it. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Is this like mail? Like, was this something that you got work? He's like, nah, it's a surprise for you. I open up the folder. Inside the folder is like a trip itinerary. It is not an actual booked trip. It's like an itinerary. A trip for two to go from Atlanta to London. The trip should have happened, and it was the month on there was like July, so it was a summer trip. So he tells me, I'm gonna take you to London. He was like, I wanted to take you for your birthday, but certain things fell through. It was like, so this summer in July, we're going to go to London. He was like, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at the Savoy. Again, there's certain things that my brain just was like, remember that. He said, I've already made a reservation for us to stay at Savoy. I didn't know, as much as I want to go to London, y'all, I didn't know anything about the Savoy. And so I remember going to look it up because I was like, what is the Savoy? Well, apparently the Savoy is bougie, very bougie. So I was so excited. I cannot tell y'all how fucking excited I was when I saw that he had printed out British Airways. Like, he was speaking my language. I am one of those people, I'm a planner. So when he's saying, I'm gonna take you to London, and he took the time to research flights and print it out and research the Savoy and print it out. And there were different, not excursions, but different things that you could do. You could go see the Tower of London. You could go see Buckingham Palace, changing of the guard. We could go have high tea at certain places. He was like, I don't really want to go, but I know you're dying to go. So he was like, you know, I love you and I would do anything for you. Blah, blah, black sheep, have you any wool? And so he was like, I'm going to take you to London in July. The trip did not include Paris. That's fine. But I was so excited. So excited. And so this is the beginning of March. I was like, this is great. Hopefully this happens. I knew I needed to renew my passport. And he was saying that he had to renew his passport as well because his passport had expired. So both of us are like, okay, we need to get on this if we're going to try to make it to London in July. And it's now March. Me being the planner I am, I think I went to work the next day and printed out the passport applications so that we could fill it out and go ahead and get that process going. So needless to say, something must have happened, and I don't remember what it was. We just simply didn't fill out the application for the passport. So fast forward, we're now at mid-March. Mid-March, the decision was made that my mom, who lived in Arkansas, was coming to visit us. She would be coming, I believe, the second week of April, and she was going to stay a week and then a few days.
How long did the marriage last?
Not quite 2 weeks, but a little over a week. So she was coming in April, and I was excited. Legion was excited because he was excited to physically meet my mom.
We still
talked to her on
have
Zoom,
but
we
we
talked to her
love
on the
her
phone.
month in.
But he was excited to physically meet my mom. My mom was excited to physically meet her son-in-law. So this is mid-March. I'm going to go into part 22 where I explain part 22, who the fuck did I marry? So now we are in March. This is right after he had surprised me with the announcement of we're going to go to London for a trip in July, because we definitely didn't do a honeymoon. We definitely didn't do any sort of trips together. So the idea was we're going to do a trip in July together. One thing about Legion was that he was the guy who was like, I have nothing to hide. I don't lie. I don't like liars. If we're in a relationship, then everything should be out and open. So I've always had his cell phone passcode. Never felt the need to look through his cell phone. And funny enough, I can tell y'all right now, disclaimer, I will never go through his cell phone again. You cheating piece. So anyway, so one day, this is mid-March, going like around March 20th. So we're heading towards the end of the month.
You a lie, bitch. I'm going through every motherfucking phone, every motherfucking thing. I don't care. I'm going through all that shit. She a motherfucking lie. She can continue to stay dumb as she fucking wants to. I'm going through everything. Everything. She crazy as hell.
In the shower. Keep in mind, my mom's coming for a visit in April. So he was in the shower and he received a text message on his phone from a woman. The text message, because it was a preview. So the text message was something where if you didn't know the context of the text thread, you could either go left or you could go right with it. So me being just curious, I opened up the phone, put the passcode in, read the text, then read the thread. Come to find out, it was a text from his aunt. His aunt and his ex share the same name. That's why I say it could go left or it could go right. Text was from the aunt. So I looked at the text, went through the thread, nothing in there. So I went ahead, X out of the messages. I see that he has Facebook Messenger downloaded. And obviously it shows you the number of unread messages in the icon. So it showed that he had like 5 unread messages. So I clicked on it, just being nosy. And what do my wondering astigmatism I see?
She said astigmatism.
So in his Facebook Messenger is about 7 women. I can see their profile picture and I see their names. Some of them had a preview. The ones that he had not read, I could see the preview of the message. One in particular said, when are you gonna come get this? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So I clicked on that one first. And I'm reading through the thread. So she's saying, when are you gonna come get this? But earlier in the thread, or further back in the thread, he had asked her, when are you gonna give me? And she said, when lockdown is over. So from what I could piece together, he had not yet physically gotten with her. But had there been no COVID, he would have smashed all day, every day. The other messages were innuendos, meaning the other messages from the other women were innuendos. They were not as graphic as the one between him and her. So I'm reading these messages, and what is interesting is that the person I am married to is not the person in these messages. Like, this man was on some nasty shit. And I say nasty, not in a judgmental way, but with me, he seemed to act as if I was damn near virginal white. And I clearly see evidence that you into some shit that with me, you acting like, nah, I ain't really into. So I confronted him. I absolutely confronted him and was like, what the fuck is this? If 2 + 2 is 4 and 5 + 5 is 10. What the fuck is this?
Right.
And so he did not, that ain't what happened, blah, blah, blah. Instead, what he hit me with is, man, I was just playing around. Like, ain't nothing happened. I shouldn't have said all that, but I was just flirting. It ain't mean nothing. I don't even know that girl. I was just flirting. And so I'm like, is this what you into? And so he was like, no, it's not what I'm into. It was just stupid. It was stupid because I shouldn't have done it. So I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I've been honest all this time. What pissed me off the most was that here I am as a woman behaving, trying to do the right thing by him in this marriage. And you mean to tell me you out here offering your ding-a-ling to random chicks that you don't even know?
Yep.
Exactly, bitch.
I was more angry at the fact that I'm like, dude, do you know how much I have turned down in order to be faithful to your dumb ass?
Right. Just like,
and I'm seeing that you
inbox,
basically are out here acting like you got Skittles. Taste the rainbow.
Yes, ma'am.
I was hurt. I was angry. I thought about getting my back. I'm just being honest. I did. And he played it off like it ain't nothing serious. It ain't nothing serious. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. It was just dumb. He was like, I will delete the message.
Yeah, trying to get her leg back. Yeah, you want to get her leg back.
Yeah, she said she did. Watch this shit. She slid it right in, real smooth.
Acting like you got Skittles. Taste the rainbow.
What?
I was hurt. I was angry. I thought about getting my lick back. I'm just being honest. I did. And he played it off like it ain't nothing serious. It ain't nothing serious. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. It was just dumb. He was like, I will delete the messages. I'll even delete Messenger. And I told him, I was like, that's really not good enough, because that's not going to fix the root of the issue. So this is where I introduced that we need to do marriage counseling. He didn't have any issue doing marriage counseling. We did not do marital counseling. But he was like, that's fine. He was like, I don't have no problem doing marriage counseling, because if anything, it can help us. So I thought that, okay, he may not have physically cheated from what I could see on the messenger. He may not have physically cheated. But he damn sure got caught, doing a little something. Because they had exchanged pictures. Do y'all know what pictures he sent? And I was disappointed, because I don't like men that send those type of pictures. But anyway, that's another issue. So we agreed that we would start marriage counseling. We also agreed that we would put on a united front when my mom got there. In other words, we were not going to argue. We, let's just act like everything is fine. But at that point, when my mother arrived in April, I could not stand him. I did not want to be. But we couldn't. He moved back into our bedroom, because he had moved into the guest bedroom. I saw the messages. Like 3 days before she came, he moved back into the bedroom, because obviously she needed to sleep somewhere. So I really could not stand him. And it was because I was busy second guessing myself. Like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, if that's what you into and I'm supposed to be your wife, like, let's have conversations. Like, shit, I went to FAMU. I understand some stuff, buddy. So it just was one of those things where it made me second guess, like, what's wrong with me? what did I do wrong? What is it that she got that I don't? Because you all out here willy-nilly, messaging her all hours of the night, because the thread went back quite a few weeks. I saw it in March. There were messages from December, November. So again, I'm just second guessing all kinds of stuff, self-esteem taking a hit. So no, I did not want to be around him. I did not want, I didn't like him, period. I did not like him. I left and I would just go for a drive because driving clears my mind. I called my aunt, told her what happened. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend calling family to tell them what's going on in your marriage. But I called my aunt, and my aunt lovingly was like, what do you want me to say? You married him. He ain't your boyfriend. Y'all can't just break up. That's the hard part about marriage. Is like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could leave him, but at the same time, you married him. So, honey, you gonna have to go back home. And y'all gonna have to figure this out. She was like, I can't give you advice on what you should do. I'm sorry that's happened, but married him. So even though it was just one drive, I went back home, and that when the discussion was, we need to do marriage counseling. Part 23, we left it on. So we agreed to do marriage counseling. I had found a pastor and his wife who agreed to do counseling. Basically, our counseling was going to be on Zoom, and it was going to be every other week, every other Tuesday. Initially, Legion was participating in it. His body language seemed to be that he was open and receptive to the marriage counseling.
Like Darth
The
Vader.
pastor and his wife were deeply concerned at the fact that we had only been married 3 months. And we
Damn.
were already dealing with some form of infidelity. We were in
Marriage counseling.
marriage counseling,
Damn.
and as the pastor would put it, there seems to not be any sort of intimacy. They were concerned, rightfully so. I think any person would be if they knew what was going on within those 3 months. So the pastor and his wife, it is fair to me. We started counseling with them in the spring. We continued counseling with them up until a week before I found out what I found out, and he got kicked out. So one of the first things that the pastor kind of talked to us about was, what was the deal with the Facebook Messenger stuff? And Legion was like, it was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. It really was just attention, and I got carried away. He felt like he was not going to, he kept saying, I'm not going to keep apologizing. I'm not going to keep getting persecuted. After I told you, I'm sorry, I told you I'm going to do it again, and I want us to move forward. You're either going to forgive me or you're not. Pastor and his wife were like, wow, the audacity is real on this one. So needless to say, we started moving slowly forward. It was always in the back of my mind, just like it was in the back of my mind with that black Dodge Charger. It was one of those things where, okay, I see how you kind of are moving and operating. He came to me a few days after we started our first counseling session, and he was like, we should get a joint bank account. What he wanted to do was to each one of us have our own account and to get a joint account for our money to go in there for joint expenses. Now, up until this point, he had been paying the rent, the utilities, and I really was just paying for my stuff. So now he's suggesting, look, we're married now, let's go ahead and get a joint account. I wasn't necessarily against it because I knew that I would still have my own account. I would still have my own savings. So what I countered with was, okay, let's take a look and see what we're working with. Show me your checking. Let's look at each other's accounts. Look at what we have currently. He was cool with that. So he shows me his checking account. His checking account available balance was just over 9,600. Mine was just over 1,500. So there was a huge disparity in the amounts. And so he logged in on the phone and turned it towards me, and I could see available checking, available balance, just over 9,600. I logged into my savings. I showed him how much I had in savings. He picked up his phone, logged into his Chase savings, turned the phone towards me. In the Chase savings, it was roughly about 15,000. But I also knew that he told me he had a U.S. bank savings and he had an offshore savings. So at this point in time, I asked him, show me the U.S. bank savings, show me the other two accounts. He would not do it. This became a huge bone of contention. He would not show me the two accounts that he claims has the most money in there, the accounts that he claims has money for a house in there, because he still was mentioning, hey, we need to get on this house thing if we're going to move when the lease is up. So I'm just adamant on, why don't you want to show me your savings account? You showed me the Chase one. Like, what is the big deal? And so he kept saying, he was like, there's a lot of money in there. And he was like, my uncle always taught me, this is not the uncle that died, another uncle. My uncle always told me, just keep your money tight because women can be, I said, women, like, we're married. So go ahead and show it to me. He would not show it to me. So then we went back into marriage counseling, like the next session, and I bring it up. I said, he will not show me these two accounts that he claims has the money in there to buy a house. I told the pastor and his wife, I said, I saw the
pre-approval letter. So I don't understand why he's not going to show me, to just put me at ease that he has the money in there. I had never questioned it before because, again, you tell me who in their right mind signs their name to a legally binding offer, an all cash offer on a house, and they just do it willy nilly. I don't know anyone that does that. So I actually never questioned what was in the savings because I clearly saw him sign his name to a $699,000 all cash offer on a house. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the parts in this playlist where I talk about what he did when we were looking for a house. So the pastor and his wife were like, Legion, that's not his name, y'all, that's a nickname. Legion, why would you not show your wife your savings account? Like, what's going on here? And so he made up some bullshit. And I remember the pastor's wife was like, something ain't right. And so at this point, Legion kind of shuts down. He's just like, look, y'all are not going to tell me when and where I open up my accounts to show anybody the money I earned. I earned that money. I earned that money by playing football, blood, sweat, and tears. He went to this whole Denzel Washington monologue about how he earned that money. And no one is going to come in and tell him that he needs to open up the account. So then he starts talking about the ex-wife and how she tried to get money from him in the divorce back when they were in California. So now the pastor and wife, their red flags are just like, whoa. So much so that the pastor's wife said, and I will never forget this. She said, I don't think you all are going to make it to January. What she's talking about is, I don't think y'all are going to make it a year. And I really, truly was like, we're going to make it. Like, of course we're going to make it. And she was just like, I don't have a good feeling about it. And so Legion's all defensive. He at this point, he's folding his arms and because remember, we're on Zoom. He's folding his arms and he's like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to get attacked because I'm not comfortable showing you the amount of money that I have. Money changes people. And I'm not comfortable. So he's playing that victim card. And so the pastor and his wife were like, we're still going to help y'all as much as we can. But so he was like, I'm not comfortable. And basically the pastor and his wife were like, look, we'll help y'all as much as we can. But there's some deep issues here. And, this is what they advised us. Had the two of you came to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, do not get married. Y'all should not even be together. That is what the pastor and his wife told us in marriage counseling. If you two had come to us for premarital counseling, we would have told you, y'all should not even be together, let alone get married. But here we are. So we will help you guys as much as we can. But the pastor's wife was like, I don't have a good feeling that y'all are going to make it a year. Part 24, who the fuck did I marry? So remember, we're in April. We're now moving towards the end of April. And he still did not show me his savings. Saw the checking, saw the Chase savings. So he decides that we should start looking for a house again because my lease was up in August. And I made it very clear that when the lease is up, I am moving. I wanted to move to Cobb County. So he was like, we need to get the ball rolling. I didn't want any parts of it. Didn't want any parts of it. He found a realtor. This time it was a woman. And I believe her name was Amber. I think her name was Amber. So he found a realtor and he told her what the budget was. Amber started finding houses. So please understand, or you don't really have to understand, but I believed he was a sane, rational human being. Sane enough that you would not sign an offer on home if you didn't have the money. That's what I believed. So when we started working with Amber, I believe, showed us 3 or 4 houses. It was not nearly as many as the other realtor, Scott. So one of the houses, absolutely loved. I love the house. I really wanted to put in an offer on that house, and I'm going to post it on the screen, the house. Love that house. It was just absolutely beautiful. And once again, he wanted to put in an all-cash offer on the house. But before he could put in he had told Amber, I want to put in an all-cash offer. And what Amber, the woman, was smart enough to say is, okay, let's just go ahead and take it one step at a time. Let's go ahead and get your pre-approval stuff together. She said, I work with a great lender who, if you're not already pre-approved, he can get you pre-approved, no issues. And then if you want to do an all-cash offer, then we'll go ahead and get the proof of funds together. So that way we can submit it all with your offer. Jesus. Y'all already know what happened because you remember what happened on the last house with Scott. Basically, Legion was like, well, I do whatever you need. That's but I really don't want to submit proof of funds unless they accept the offer. Amber, and I don't know where she is. I don't even know if she'll ever see this video. Anyway, let me keep going and I'll explain why that woman has such a place in my heart. So Amber was like, I totally understand, but this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to need that paperwork, okay? And we'll submit it with your offer. She just simply was like, yeah, this is how we're going to do it. And so he did not submit the paperwork when she had asked him to. And I remember I was driving to work and I stopped at a Quick Trip on Upper Riverdale Road in Riverdale, Georgia. And Amber had called me. It was in the morning. She had called me. And I believe with all my heart that Amber knew something was up, but she also knew I did not know what was up. So she called me and she was like, I just don't understand. Like, if he has the paperwork, like, you can submit the paperwork. But the issue was the Chase paperwork that I had was from a year prior. So my understanding was that it pretty much was no good at this point. So she said, all he has to do is just email it to me or take a picture of. She's like, I just need to know that he's able to back up his offer. And I said, I totally get it. She was explaining some stuff to me. She was like, he needs to do X, Y, and Z. And so I said to her, I remember I said, I don't know what's going on. I said, I'm going to get down to the bottom of it, but I don't know what's going on. And so let's put a pause on this whole thing. Let's put a pause getting his pre-approval letter because I'm not sure what's going on. And she got quiet and she said, okay. I said, and I know this sounds weird. And she said, no, she said, that is actually very smart. She said, do your research. And if I can be of assistance, call me. She said, whether you buy a house with him or you buy a house on your own, I will be more than happy to represent you. I don't know where Amber is today, but that one sentence, I felt like just woman to woman. She was basically telling me something right.
Yeah.
Baby, something ain't right. And now you open your eyes. I'll be more than happy to work with you.
Yeah.
If y'all just get together, I'll work with both of you. But whether you buy a house or not, do your research and then let me know what I can do. That was our conversation at a Quick Trip on Upper Riverdale Road. So I got off the phone. That was the last time that we worked with any sort of realtor. That was the last time that we looked at any sort of house. And I don't remember exactly what happened after that meeting that day. I do know that when I went home, I simply told him, I don't want to look at a house right now. I said, I think it's okay we rent. We'll just find a house in Cobb County and just rent for a year. And let's build, save some more money. Let's not worry about buying a house right now. And basically what I was trying to do was save face, because that was the first time with Amber that I actually was embarrassed at the fact that he and I, because I felt like I was complicit in the fact that I'm going to look at houses with him. I felt like we are wasting these people's time. I did not mean to waste your time. I clearly see my time as being wasted, but that doesn't mean I need to waste your time. And I felt embarrassed at the fact that we wasted her time coming across as serious buyers. When time came to put up or shut up, nothing was put up. And I knew nothing. I had nothing to add to add to this, because we're talking about a $650,000 house, and I don't make that. I don't make anywhere near that. So it just became one of those situations where I was trying to save face. I was trying to save face with my husband, and I was trying to save face with Amber. And so I did say to him, let's just rent for another year, and then let's see at that time where we are, if we should go ahead and buy. So now is when shit is about to get real. Part 25, who the fuck did I marry? So we weren't looking at houses anymore. April, I had decided that I wanted to look for another job. I did. The reason I went to look for another job is petty. I had basically was dependent on him to help with the car note. So I wanted to look for another job where I could afford life all by myself, including that car note, basically where I would make more money. I told him that I was going to start looking for another job. He laughed. And his exact words were, "You're not going to leave Georgia State Patrol." He was like, "I swear you love the niggas more than you love me." He laughed. So that fueled me even more. So I was hitting the pavement hard trying to find another job. I was applying to all kinds of places. Got a phone call from my current job. So this is how I ended up in my current job. Got a phone call. They had sent me an email with a background packet. The background packet was long and extensive, but in the background packet, it asked for my spouse's full name, my spouse's date of birth, and my spouse's social security number. So I showed it to Legion and I was like, I need your social because, I'm applying for this job. It's a great job. It's way more money. And, we're talking about moving anyway to Cobb County. So this, this is a God thing. He did not want to give me his social. I showed him the paperwork where I was like, look, because we are married, I can't lie on here. So help me. So he writes down his social security number on the background packet. And I eventually turned it in. I scanned it, saved it in my email, and sent it in. And I looked at it one day, just going through it, making sure I didn't really miss anything. All T's were crossed, all I's were dotted. And I looked at his social, and something about the social seemed different than the social security number that I remember seeing when we did our marriage license. And so for those who you remember in the previous part, I said I had ran his social security number from the marriage license, nothing came back. So I thought that I had written it down wrong. Basically, what it is that the first three numbers were different on the background packet than what was on the marriage license. If you don't know this, here's a little trivia. Your social security number, the first three numbers, pretty much born in Pennsylvania. So the first three numbers of his social security number should be attributed to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, shit, they probably got like 5, 6 different numbers, 3-digit numbers that your social security number can start with. So the social that was on the marriage license, for example, was probably 1, 2, 3. What was on the background was 4, 5, 6. Both of those social security 3-digit prefixes are issued through the state of Pennsylvania. Again, this is just an example, so I can make it clear. So when I saw his social on my background, I immediately knew that was a different social than what I saw on the marriage license. And when I compared, because I had found a copy of the marriage license that we turned in because I had filled it out on the computer. So sure enough, the first 3 numbers were different. The rest of the numbers were the same. So one of two things, either when I ran his background, I did in fact put in the wrong number, or the number on the marriage certificate or the background packet is wrong. So I decided that I was going to roll the dice and take the social from the background packet. Again, this is the background packet that I had to fill out to get my current job. I was trying to get a new job. Okay, so I took that social and I ran a background check on it. What came back on this particular background was all the addresses that the social security number, I guess, had been attached to. So all of the addresses, the states were Georgia, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania. What I did not see was California. So I thought that was weird. I thought, okay, maybe this is not a complete background because clearly he went to San Diego State. It's on his resume. It's on quite a few things. So clearly he had been to California. So maybe I just need to do a different background check. Also to note, during this time, I think I told you guys he had hit his leg at work. So what was happening was it was getting more and more difficult for him to walk, like put pressure on that leg, on that knee. He was still able to go to work. He was still leaving at 6:15 in the morning. He was still coming back between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. But I clearly could see where he was in pain. He would elevate the knee, ice the knee. It was getting worse. And I was constantly like, go to the doctor. Let me take you to urgent care so that they can look at this knee, because you shouldn't still be limping and having a hard time putting weight on that knee. And every single time he was like, oh, it's fine. I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday. The doctor just told me to ice it and to elevate it. This is an old football injury. It happens all the time. It used to happen a lot when I was out in California. So I'm mentioning this knee issue for a reason. But back to the background. So once again, when I ran the background the second time with the second social, it showed me states of Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. And that is all that's that I saw in terms of addresses. I didn't see anything for California. by this point, we're moving into May of 2021. Things are starting to be open. One of the things that reopened was San Diego State. So I called San Diego State. I called the registrar's office. Someone did answer, and there was instructions on how to request a transfer. I was able to request it online. You needed the student's name, and I believe you also need their social. And when I typed it in, it said no results found. I believe that I sent an email asking, this person is saying that they were a student there. Can you verify it? The response I got was there were no records found with that security number. So I'm like, okay. I asked him about it. And in part 26, I'll tell you exactly what his response was. Part 26, who the fuck did I marry? So I asked Legion, what's the deal about San Diego State? He was like, what are you talking about? And I said, why is there no records of you there? Just came right out and said it. Without missing a beat, this man said, well, I was a private citizen. What the fuck does that mean? And what he said is that when he started at San Diego State, his father paid money. So, okay, it's important to say this with a straight face. His father paid money so that his name and social would not be publicized and he would be considered a private student, a private citizen. He said that he had a card where all he had to show the card. He does not have to give his name. He does not have to give any information because he had that card. He said, so San Diego State would not have any. I said, any claim that you played football? He was like, I did play football. I said, so you're saying that the school did not publish your name anywhere?
Damn, all this in 3 months.
And they were in violation of NCAA rules?
This shit. I'm actually tired of watching this.
You're saying that you're a private citizen.
I'm going straight for hours in a minute.
Yeah, me too. I'm listening to it too.
I'm gonna stop watching it.
Okay, I had fun.
So
thank you for having me up.
Okay, so I'm gonna end it.
Okay.
And thank you for coming and watching with me.
Okay. Always.
Bye.
Bye-bye.